magical world far, far away. The land of Cassini, in fact, technically, Cassini is just the name of the northern continent, but we're not going to worry about the fact that I have drawn a map that details multiple continents that we will never get to. In this land, several thousand years ago, there existed great, powerful spirits, and these spirits, not only were they powerful and magical in their own right and had many smaller and less powerful spirits that were derived from them, they taught humans how to use magic themselves, how to access that power in the world around them and put it to use in some variety. Magic was fairly specific, but varied in its forms and its function. But over time, because humans are as they are, they began to mistrust the greater spirits, and there was a war. A large, long, drawn-out war between humans and spirits. And in the end, the humans won, so to speak. The great spirits were defeated, and all that is left is a remnant of these spirits. There are 7 of them. And in the sky, for each day passing 24 hours, there is a seal, an ancient kind of rune marks that exist in the sky, about twice the size of the celestial bodies of the sun and the moon. And they will rise and set as the sun and the moon do, perpendicular to each other. And these seals were believed to either be just marks left over when the great spirits were destroyed, or possibly some remnant of a magic ritual that was used to take these spirits down. But time has passed, and people have largely forgotten the lore and the history, except for a few odd, interested historians. And a magical revolution has taken place. People have found a way to no longer just channel magic through people as mages, but also to imbue magic into objects. This is kind of creating our steampunk technology world where things are powered by magic. An airship would fly because someone has imbued it with magical flying powers, or someone might fire a gun with magical bullets, or
they might indeed
might have an aura that allows others to, throw a grenade that casts a healing aura or something like that. And so there's a wide variety of magic that's suddenly available, not just for mages, but mostly to people who can afford this technology. But of course, any advances in technology come with a somewhat destabilizing effect of current political whatevers. And so various countries have reacted to this in different ways. Most of them not liking it, but wanting to use it for themselves. Our story begins in Mina, a small country on a peninsula nestled between the Iazim Empire, which is probably one of the biggest powers currently on that continent, and a desert that doesn't really have anything useful, and a bunch of mountains protecting them. The city of Mina being pretty much the biggest city and the only city in that entire country that exists on this peninsula, and is a port town. Massive amounts of trade come in and out of that region. We also need to mention Skywatch. What is Skywatch? All of our players are part of Skywatch. They are a magical organization designed to protect and defend people from the wiles of evil mages and wily spirits? What's the word of them? Errant spirits. What word did you say?
Wild.
Spirits with malicious intent. And so Skywatch was created a couple hundred years ago to provide that protection for people, and they are an international organization. Every country deals with them in a little different way, but they began in Mina. And so in Mina, that is where they have the most power, and where many will come to receive training from Skywatch.
Is Skywatch like the Justice League, where they go out and they kind of hang out in one place, but they go out and help every country, but like local police stations don't really like them because they kind of step over their jurisdiction?
Yes, to some extent. Every nation deals with them in a different way. So if you were part of Skywatch in Iazim, the Empire, you would be a lot more controlled and regimented. In Mina, you kind of get away with what you want because the city guard is like, yeah, that's cool, they're fine. Also, we don't want this job here, take it. Which brings us to the Skywatch watchtower, because where else would you have people who are designed to watch the seals in the sky? All of our characters, our players, are waiting outside of the meeting room of Azima Hajar, the watch commander. in Mina. She's going to assign them a mission, but she has a tendency to not want to see people right away or to be running late. So right now, our characters are waiting. There's a lovely view outside the window. Her office is near the top of the tower.
Do you think she's talking to the city guard?
Could be anything as far as I reckon.
They're getting lazier and lazier as days go on.
Patience, Ada. Patience.
Who do we have in this room?
You have Tustin, who is a gunslinger. He's about 6 feet tall, and he has a ponytail that's dark brown.
Very important.
Very important detail. He carries a shotgun strapped to his back and a 6-shooter at his side, and he is an excellent marksman with the ability to enchant his bullets with spells.
Ada Blood is a tall woman in her 60s. She carries about a very, very large two-handed sword, and she has short, cropped gray hair, but she's obviously nearly the same height as Tustin and very muscular.
Okay. There is a tall, again, we're doing a lot of tall people in this one, I didn't realize. Tall, lanky figure with a giant black hat. Corvus Gallows, they stand, they're like, their gender is kind of unknown. They prefer not to be on either side of that spectrum, so they go by they. Lots of just heavy bags under their eyes, very almost purplish hue to their skin, super pale, and a tiny black top knot on the top.
Perched in the windowsill is the most handsome person in the room, Laurencio Valeroux de la Croix. He has a book out and he's writing in it with a great quill pen. He is as tall as the most handsome average height man you can imagine. He is festooned in medals and awards, and he just casts a sort of light about the room that makes it better to be in, enjoyable.
You just slipped into a British accent.
He is a master of all languages and accents, but he mostly loves his own homeland of Amortania, the most beautiful land where people celebrate love and kindness and the beauty of true life. Oh, and he doesn't really fight so much as tell stories and cast spells. He is a fablemancer, the most loved of all professions.
Corvus, how are you faring? It's only your second tour with us in our group.
This team is a squad.
Well, that's incredibly accurate of you.
But not very romantic.
No.
How about,
very literal.
But I am but a small sapling among a large forest of this city, and I am very excited to be nurtured by the very small bits of light that shine through the trees.
I've only seen your people once or twice in the distance.
We don't leave the forest often.
Fascinating to be able to work with you.
You know, they have fantastic things here in Mina, like bathtubs. You can actually take a bath if you like.
We do have baths.
Oh, do you use them?
Are you sure that you have them? 100% sure.
Yes.
Okay.
The roots of Rugosum spread very far, and we have gathered what is useful from other cultures. Much like I am doing now, yes. So...
Wait, so you were a spy and you were telling us that?
No.
I think she means educational.
Oh,
If I
I
have to
will
take your
tell
meaning
you.
that it's an exchange of ideas.
I will tell you anything you want to know about any country within this great land. I have all the secrets, my friend.
There you go.
Follow
again,
me, and I will
Lori.
tell you of life and love and all of Cassini.
I am gathering as much as I can light from you, but if you put a flower in the sun for too long, it will wilt.
With that, the door slams open, and you would notice a couple of the city guards will leave the room and head down the stairs, down the hallway, down the stairs.
Ada nods at them and greets them by name. It's like, Sean, Mark.
Ada?
Oh, yeah.
Right, you're with Skywatch now. Sorry.
Good to see you.
Good luck with that. As they leave, and they gesture back into the room. In the doorway, there is...
Enjoy not doing your jobs while we do it for you.
In the doorway, there
Don't
is
have
a
to
woman...
say it so loudly, even though we're thinking it.
Woman clears her throat. Lorenzo, Ada, Tustin. I got this one. Corvus. Corvus, great. In my office now.
How is the Ferris leader of Skywatch today?
Azima Hajar is much shorter than all of you. In fact, she was objectively short, and now in comparison, incredibly short. She sits at about 5 foot tall, very stocky, muscular woman. She wears a vest and doesn't wear sleeves, because why would you cover such glorious arms as she covered with various tattoos and sigil marks on her arms. She has long black hair braided and thrown over her shoulder. You can see kind of the wrinkles on her skin around her eyes, where she probably smiles sometimes, but probably not at you. And she's dark brown skin, and she's been in the business for a while. Sit, if you want. She takes a seat at her desk.
Thanks, we will.
Dustin sits down.
Yeah, we see.
She tosses over some reams of parchment towards you. City guard passed on a job.
We are so shocked.
So
I can't even
So
tell you
surprised.
how surprised we are at this moment.
yeah, you really, I can just sort of read the shock in your face. Definitely.
What is this
seems-
time? Drunken patrons damaging a bar, supposedly with magic?
This time they may be onto something. I don't want to give them that much credit, but they're not known for wanting to take any job where they so much as smell a whiff of possible Magitech involvement or mage involvement at this point. It's a little frustrating, so to speak. No, it's a rash of robberies been across town for the last couple of weeks. They're saying it involves Magitech. I'm saying they're lazy and not doing their jobs, but unfortunately, Queen Sabira puts this squarely on my shoulders. You know how she feels about it. So, she hands you the pieces of paper. If you flip through them, they'll detail a number of different locations where these robberies have taken place. As far as we can tell, there's no signs of forced entry. There's complete variation in the actual goods that have been stolen or their value. The main thing that seems to keep them or be in common with any of them is they're stealing metals of various varieties or things that could be processed into raw materials. There is no particular specified time of day. This has happened both during the day as well as in the evening when there haven't been people around. I don't think these are necessarily connected robberies, but the city guard has decided that they're connected because they can't solve any of them.
Well, you have to understand that new captain never should have been promoted. Ever.
We don't do those types of promotions in Skywatch.
Which is what I appreciate about being here now and not in the city guard.
It's good to have you aboard. I've got 3 different locations for you to investigate. I suggest you take some time and figure out what the heck is happening. And if it isn't magical, we can pass it back to them. If it is, well, report back here. Questions? Comments? Concerns?
You said you
Write them
think
down
they
and I'll
may
throw them
have
away.
something. Like they may be right in bringing us in. You believe there is magic involved?
It's always possible. but given these are multiple robberies with absolutely no traditional signs of a robbery, generally speaking, that probably means something magical.
Maybe spirits. Sometimes they are attracted to human objects.
Maybe. Some errant spirits, it's entirely possible.
Never heard of a spirit robbing a house.
Well, none of these are houses.
Never heard of a spirit robbing whatever the heck it was.
Did you even look at... I literally just handed you a piece of paper.
I was staring off at the beautiful coastline.
Yes.
We don't have coasts back in Gracebridge.
Yes.
I miss them.
You miss the absence of coasts?
I miss the coast when I'm not here in Mina.
I'm going to be entirely honest, I don't really care.
I figured as much.
Open that dossier I just handed you and actually read the first page. You'll notice the 3 different locations I've given you. One's an antique store, one's a bank, and one's a blacksmith.
Anything else we should know?
Nothing in particular. All the information's in there.
Pretty straightforward.
Does it say in here what was stolen?
At the different locations, yes.
Was it like actually money that was stolen from the bank, or?
The bank, it was money. It was a significant quantity of gold. At the blacksmith, it was a very raw iron and like partially worked iron goods. And at the antique store, it seemed to be mostly things made of a significant quantity of silver.
Silver, money, and
Well, those are pretty easy to exchange.
iron.
You can make a buck off of it.
Would I have any knowledge of what, how those might be used in a magical context? or-
Anyone who wants to give me a Arcane Lore?
That's communication, I believe.
No, it's knowledge.
It's intelligent.
It's intelligence. Intelligence, the specialty in Arcane Lore. So for anyone who has never played Fantasy Age before, I can teach you how to play this in about 30 seconds. You need 3d6s. One of them needs to be a different color. You roll them, you add them together, and then you add your skill. And if you have a focus, you get to add a +2 bonus to that roll. Now you know how to play Fantasy Age. Weird stuff happens when you roll doubles. We'll get into that.
You have to hit. You have to hit
a number.
underneath your number. Above your number?
You hit the number or above. You're trying to roll high.
Wait, I'm rolling.
You're really confused because the last game you played with me, you had to roll low. Roll 3d6, add together, you want to roll high.
Sure.
Corvus, sometimes I think you are not completely like in the room. Like you float away. Maybe you are a spirit yourself. 14.
14. You're with arcane lore.
Yes.
Do you have any knowledge of Magitech?
I have just general arcane lore as my specialty.
You know Magitech takes a large number of like raw materials and tends to utilize more precious metals in the kind of channeling of magic process.
So the new practice of Magitech, right? It does use these materials, the raw irons, the silver. It consumes much of it in the creation, and of course the other materials are expensive. It could easily be somebody trying to find a quick way to make something they should not.
Well,
You would also know that spirits of Wedigan Neste, or spirits of form, are often attracted to like pure raw materials because they can change them into things. So,
On the other hand, the spirits of Wedigan Neste, which, what is today?
today is Tuesday. Kurosa.
Oh, how convenient.
Wedigan Neste, which some of the savage peoples of the Southern Lands call Wednesday. The spirits of that are also attracted to it. They transmute it into other things.
Well, let's hope it's not that, because you know I don't work on Wednesdays.
Yes.
well, for once, it seems like the city guard might not be entirely off its rocker.
As much as it pains me to agree with that statement, yes. You have the resources of Skywatch that you normally have at your disposal. Let me know if you need anything in particular.
Well,
What's on her desk?
what's on
Yes.
Azima's desk. A lot of like sheaves of paper, like pens. She's definitely got like a nice feather quill.
There's like a pen, like a real pen with like ink in it.
Yes, she definitely has a real ink pen. There's also like probably a stamp that she uses like a wax seal. That's on the desk.
Pleasure to see you as always.
What do you point at?
The pen.
It is a pin.
Use your words, Corvus.
I believe that we will need that pen.
She picks up the pen and waves it at your face. This pen, you will need. There's literally an office supply room 3 stories down.
That one.
You did say we would have the full resources.
I said you
of
have the
Skywatch.
normal resources of Skywatch at your
Our
disposal. you gotta learn to pay more attention, Tustin.
I'm
Corvus,
easily distracted.
That pen belongs to her.
But
She owns it.
Give me a communication.
can I use persuasion?
Yes.
Yes.
But you have to actually tell me how you're
Yeah. Corvus is just gonna stand very straight and tall and just look very like, Commander, I am always, as a young sapling, I'm truly inspired by the way you command this office, and I would just like a reminder of how inner strength the spirits have blessed me with, and that pen would remind me.
This is a opposed roll, to be clear. I have rolled against giving you the pen. What was your total?
Why can't I be good at things?
She takes the pen. She opens it. She grabs a piece of paper. She writes something down. She hands you the piece of paper, closes the pen, puts the pen behind her ear.
What does it say?
No.
You know, when Sam died, we are happy you
She just
replaced
kinda
him
chuckles and
with
sits down.
another member of our quartet, but sometimes I wonder about this one.
In
I don't know.
fairness, after Sam died, rest his soul, may he be with Satarish, we only had one new recruit, so you're welcome.
And it was you.
I think perhaps Corvus just works in mysterious ways. We need to give them a chance.
Spirit's guide. What guides you?
Why are you still in my office?
Goodbye.
Always a pleasure, Ada. Send your best to your wife. Send my best to your wife.
Oh, I will.
And I can make it over on Sunday.
Oh. Yara will be pleased to see you.
Great.
Oh, is there a dinner?
Yeah.
Did I
you,
not receive my
you're-
invite?
If you would like to come, I will check with Yara and see if that's all. I'm sure she'll be fine with the.
I mean, it would be
Very good,
nice
you'll
to
come
be
in.
wanted, but that's all right.
We have an open door policy.
Some plants grow best when left alone.
Well, on that note, does anybody know anyone? Is this antique shop, bank,
So,
or blacksmith?
The antique shop is called Little House of Trinkets. The bank is Phoenix Financial, and the blacksmith is the Clamor Shop.
So
give that one more time.
the bank,
Clamor.
No, all of them.
Phoenix Financial. Phoenix Financial. I do know a fella there because probably about 5 years ago or so, I stopped a thief when I was part of the city guard. There was a case there, very brief, but I don't know if he's still working. But I know them a bit.
Well, that's as good a starting point as any, I figure.
Anybody else know the other two?
I think I know a shop girl who used to work at the Little House of Trinkets, but I do not know if she works there anymore.
Well, why don't we start at the bank and then maybe we'll get enough information there that you can make some choices about the other two.
You can also split up if you need to. I'm not, it is your
This isn't Shadowrun?
It's not Shadowrun.
Do we?
Is it a trick?
I will go to the Little House of Trinkets while you go to the bank. Banks are very boring. It's what you do with the money that's more interesting than where you put it.
Would you like one of us to go with you?
Sure. How about I take the kid?
Sounds good.
Tustin, would you like to go to the bank?
Always.
We go to the bank.
So, the two of you head to the Little House of Trinkets, and the two of you will head to Phoenix Financial.
Do you want to stop by the sarsaparilla store and get a sarsaparilla before we go?
You know me quite well, Ada.
We won't tell the others. It'll be our secret.
I was hoping you might have a fixin' for that.
This is what we do every time we're alone.
Always sarsaparilla.
We do our jobs.
Do you?
How do we get to the well, okay.
Walk!
Corvus is going to follow, assuming
Yes.
we're going to do our jobs.
All right, Corvus. Now, one thing, you cannot take anything from this shop. I have been with you long enough to see how this works, and if you want something, you have to exchange money for it from this shop. Yes, you do.
Fair.
Are you lying? Shall we go? Well, while you're getting sarsaparilla, let's head to the Little House of Trinkets. So our intrepid adventurers head to a small store. It's in one of the sort of middle-class areas of town, you know, somewhere where people could afford to buy antiques, but they're not like the nicest of antiques. So it's like a step above a kind of a Goodwill sort of situation, but, you know, below like where you would actually auction off things. The building itself is kind of tucked in. Most things in the city are between 2 and maybe 3 stories, like shops on the bottom, and then kind of a couple of levels of housing depending on where you're at. So it's a small store. You can see the front through the glass pane windows. It's just full of stuff. It's not particularly well organized. There's little tags with prices on everything. Lots and lots of shiny stuff. And you head in, and the store itself is very full. A bell definitely rings as you open the door.
As we walk in, I say a line of narrative, which is a spell.
Okay.
I say, as Corvus reached for the object that she had not paid for, she suddenly changed her mind, shouted out, "I have to pee," and fled for the door. They.
You'll get it.
What? I think you have to roll to cast the spell. And
Yes,
then
so
she rolls to resist the spell
you
power,
actually
right?
just have to roll a willpower self-discipline,
Oh.
and you have to beat 16 on this.
So, okay.
And if it's something you would not normally do, if the action actually happens, if the trigger happens,
Guess what? 18, mother.
So, despite your best intentions, Corvus is not affected or changed.
my
Spirit's guiding
pin
me.
is not working
Not
today.
you. But
All right, just try not to take anything.
Good effort, though. So you head in the store. Hello?
Yes, is it the girl I remember?
Yeah, it is. She is, it was a few years ago, perhaps you'd been in here. Her hair is longer than it was then. It's sort of swept back in a very no-nonsense sort of bun. She's got a pair of like round rimmed glasses on her face, and she's sort of like leaning over, polishing something.
Do I remember her name? No, I don't.
Hello?
Yes, hello!
Oh God.
It is so nice to see you again.
Spirit saved me. Laurencio.
The spirits have already saved you, for I am here. Yes.
How may I help you today?
I understand that you have a problem with some shoplifting, perhaps?
Oh, wait. You're not with the city guard.
No, I'm with Skywatch now.
Now?
Well, I always was, but
That was your line 2 years ago.
Well, it wasn't a line, it was actually the truth. I may speak facts which are bent, but the emotional truth of what I say is always true.
Do you remember my name?
I remember how the sound of it felt upon my lips. But the words itself are so unimportant compared to the feeling we had that one night together.
And roll seduction or performance.
14. And it's a stunt if it succeeds.
It does succeed.
I will simply, the way it works, since I roll doubles, I have a stunt die. That stunt die is 5, which means I have 5 stunt points I could use on a role-playing stunt, which is a lot. I, however, will use flirt, which means I immediately make another opposed the same check. If I win that, they become enamored with me.
All right, willpower, self-discipline, right?
Yep. 17.
Role play it.
Just barely. Just barely. I suppose it doesn't matter anyway.
Of course it matters. Tell me their name again that I may sing it from the rooftops.
No, it's more fun this way.
Ah, a mystery then. Very well.
Gives me something to be angry with you about.
And you like this?
We had a robbery 2 days ago. I reported it to the city guard. They said, well, they came in and they did their investigations. They said they would get back to me. I didn't realize they were going to pass it on to Skywatch.
Well, it turns out that what was stolen, it sounds like there was a lot of silver in it.
Yes, a number of pieces of jewelry and a mirror.
A mirror.
Large mirror.
Interesting. Shame to lose a good mirror.
If you're stealing something, just kind of give me a...
I was looking for. Is there a plant?
Is there a plant in
Is there
here?
a plant?
No. Oh, probably, but
Like
it's
a
dead.
small one. Is it
It's
dying?
like a dead/dying plant, like in the back corner in a pot,
I would-
so far away from any light.
They would just be very careful and try to make it go again. Just attempt very best. Like find a tap in there, just move among the aisles, put it into sunlight, move things over.
Like this tiny little
Yeah,
plant.
yeah.
Great.
Interesting. Anything of note, like of a special, like, did it seem like they came and simply wanted things in silver, or did they steal things especially valuable while leaving other items of silver?
The silver mirror would have been the only thing of particular value. Everything else was fairly small, but all of it was silver. That was the main thing that was in common.
Interesting. And was there anything left or found?
You mean that they stole?
Did they leave anything? I understand they did not, like, break in through the door.
No. It was sort of strange. I mean, I noticed the things were missing. But I don't remember when they went missing exactly during the day.
Oh, so it was during the day while you were actually here in the shop.
Yes.
And, like, one at a time, or suddenly it was all missing?
No, suddenly it was missing. That spot back there, and you can see, like, clearly the only empty location, like, in this entire store. There was a space for a large object. That's where the mirror was, and it's not there.
Just like that, from out under your nose.
I mean, I wasn't watching it. I was closed for lunch at the time.
I see. Can you account for that entire lunch? Like, does it all stick within your memories, or is it like a dream where you hop from thing to thing and may have forgotten some parts of it?
I had lunch.
Did it seem like an hour of lunch?
I mean, I can't really say I ever remember any particular lunch unless it's, you know, a special one.
Well, sometimes the spirits may come and take a memory, hide it from you. I worry about you, even not knowing your name. I worry that the spirits may have come
That
and
what happened to your memory?
cast spells upon you. No, for me, sadly, the adventure called, and I was forced to leave the city for some time.
My friend said she had a wonderful lunch with you as well.
Oh, really? Well, perhaps the two of you are available for lunch sometime in the future.
And then my other friend said he had a great time too. I'm sure you had to leave the city for a very extended period of time though at some point.
It is such as the life of Skywatch. My friend here can attest. Right, Corvus?
Yeah. So busy. All the time. Just sowing all the seeds. So
You are not a
Things
very
may
good
bloom.
wingman, Corvus.
no. I have no need right now. The spirits do not direct me in that fashion.
Would you mind if we looked where the object was taken?
Well, we don't.
It's right there.
It's right there. She pointed it
No,
out.
well, if-
Sees a big missing place.
Where it is taken is unknown.
Right, where it was taken from.
I don't know where it was taken. That's kind of the
Yes.
problem.
I'm saying where it was taken from. May we look at it?
Yes, it's right.
All
the
right,
city
come,
guard already
Corvus.
did this.
Help me search this. Look for magical residue. Anything, any indication of how such a large object was moved? Was it drug upon the floor?
I'm gonna be looking at it with more stealth, like looking for exits, looking for a way up or over the mirror could fit out, because it's rarely gonna be the front door. So I'm gonna see if there's like, from a more thievery, steely wheelie kind of.
Perception investigation.
Oh.
Is that one? No. I thought I saw. Communication has investigation under it, not perception.
Communication's like getting information. There's
yeah, no,
perception,
that's like
seeing, and I think there's perception
searching.
search.
That's
Okay.
the one I was looking for. Searching.
I will also search, but more directly on the ground.
16. Yeah.
Okay.
16 and 5 stunt points.
Okay, so while you figure out if you're going to use a stunt, it is successful. So you were, as you're looking around, you realize like there
I counted
isn't.
wrong. 12.
It's like a significant difference.
Yes, it is.
It's a very significant difference. You still get some information, just not quite as much. You're able to notice like there is a back room in here. She'll let you go inside it, or like let you look inside it. There is a like a back exit that goes into kind of the small alleyway between the buildings, and then there's the front door, and those are pretty much the only two ways in and out. The store itself isn't connected to any of the upstairs residents. The mirror, like the space that the mirror was in, you can see kind of a few sort of like marks over dust has shifted and stuff on the ground. But you don't really see where it went. Like you can't make it, it's not clear if it would have gone out the front door or out of the back door.
Okay, thank you.
It almost seems like the tracks kind of seem to stop. Maybe it was lifted or something else happened to it.
Magic. The spirits. That's what I believe.
I will use my stunt points for this makes me wonder the stunt, which lets me make another immediate check, another perception check, specifically to see if I believe magic was used to lift the
Okay, and then add plus
object. Excellent. 18.
So as you kind of work together, and Corvus is like whispering the word magic to you, the mirror itself, like clearly the tracks of like it being lifted or dragged seem to stop at some point. So either it was lifted and then carried out, in which case you could see if someone saw it. If you go into the alleyway, like there's no evidence that anything out there was disturbed. You don't see like debris that's been moved or tracks or anything. Obviously people do spend some time out here, but nothing that indicates like it went out the back. So you could see if anyone saw it leave out of the front. If not, it was somehow magically disappeared.
I do believe it may have been magic. At least it's certainly evidence that it is likely. Perhaps the other two will have more luck at the bank.
Hopefully. Ada's roots are just a little bit further than yours. Yours are like vines. They kind of entangle those around them and then grow from there.
I suppose that is correct. Although I'm not sure what metaphor you mean. Ma'am, you have neglected to tell me your name. Let us keep the mystery. Perhaps we shall see again in the future. I hope it is true.
Okay.
Water
Yes.
water your plants once a week. Rotate once every other.
That plant's still alive?
It will be.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you, I think.
Corvus. Just Corvus.
Right. At the bank. Post
That's how you
sarsaparilla.
make it.
Feeling refreshed.
We should do that more.
We should. I feel like maybe your wife isn't very enamored with me as of late. Maybe that's why I wasn't invited.
Oh, no, it was something we just put together, you know. I'm sure Yara likes you fine.
Yes. Well, I understand your tone.
Yara likes everybody. She's friendly.
Sure.
But she'll still come over.
If you'd like to have me there, then I would like to be there.
I would like to have you there. Also, I think you need to get married.
We've had this discussion before.
I know. And I said I would let it go, but I decided that I won't. Because I'm right. And you need to be married.
Marriage just isn't in the seals for me. It's not going to happen. I'm not the settling down kind. You know that. But I appreciate that you care.
For the right person.
Well, maybe my Yara exists out there somewhere and I just have yet to meet her.
But before Yara, there was nobody that I ever saw myself being with. And then I met her one day. She was being mugged. But she had turned the tables on him and she was hitting him with this stick she had in her hand. And he was crying. And I thought to myself, I'm going to marry that woman.
I've always thought you two were the most adorable when you're at your most violent.
She's 95% calm and docile.
But that 5%.
Oh, run.
One
run
in
and
20.
hide your money.
Well,
Shall we to the bank?
indeed.
You're just in the bed, like you stepped inside and
Yeah.
continued this conversation.
I think we've been in line this whole time.
Yeah, you get up to the bank teller. Hello, how can I help you?
Good afternoon. Ada Blood, Skywatch. This is my associate.
Tustin?
I thought this was a city guard. Never mind. I guess
We
it's not.
suspect there's been a use of magic, which is why Skywatch has been alerted. We were wondering if we could perhaps talk to the people that were here during the robbery.
Oh, certainly. And I sort of gesture over, and one of the managers, who's very well dressed with a small it's cravat. Not
Love
a small
it.
cravat, but a large cravat. Cravats shouldn't be small.
Yes.
And a tailcoat. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, I'm Ada Blood.
Tustin?
Excellent. You'll hear about the robbery we had.
Yes, we're here to
morning.
investigate.
Indeed. Yesterday, it was Ronin or Monday, and but it's a terrible day of the week. But we were open at the time, and you can come and see. And it was the vault. They stole it directly out of the vault. In fact, it happened in the wee hours of the morning. I came when I was doing the morning counting and noticed that the funds were gone.
Did anybody see anyone enter the vault?
No, our night guard reported absolutely nothing had happened that evening. I fired him.
Might we take a look?
Certainly.
Well, we'll go take a look at the vault.
Great. So he will clearly just sort of stand there and hover over you the entire time. The vault has a large metal door. It is bolted and there's locks, and obviously it appears to be quite well secured. You can sort of see some traces of spells that have been cast by mages that would have sort of placed some protections on it as well to try and prevent spirits or other things from getting inside.
I'm going to cast Arcane Detection just to see what I can discover.
Yeah. So as you begin casting of your magics,
Yes.
do you succeed? I think you just have a target number for your spell.
Yes, I do.
Great. So for a moment, putting on magical spectacles, the world takes on a certain clarity for you, and you're able to kind of look closer at the edges of the vault, and you can see that there's that there seems to have been like a shift in the metal. There's sort of a magic left in it, as if its form had been altered at some point. But it doesn't fit with like spirit magic that you've seen before. It has a more kind of human mage-like quality to it.
I'm seeing some sort of human mage magic. It doesn't look like spirit magic. Something's been altered here.
What? I'm sorry, you were just talking, and I'm very curious about what had happened to my vault.
It's hard to say.
What's on the other side of that wall?
Large quantities of money in the vault.
So to be clear...
You were standing outside the door to the vault. He hadn't opened it yet.
So it's the door to the vault itself that looks like it was tampered with.
Yes, looked like it had been altered.
I don't think this was a magic break-in.
I suppose.
It's entirely possible your manager on call. It might not have been his fault.
Oh. Well, I do hate apologizing to people, so I suppose you can find a different job somewhere else, but I'll give him a reference if he needs one.
Yeah, I hate Monans too.
Mondays are the worst.
I want to see if I can track sort of where the magic went from there. So I'll sort of squint at turning around from where the door was, and I stunted, and I got 6, 10, 14, 19.
You succeed.
And let's do...
You guys are rolling high. I don't like this.
Well, it was a good roll.
We'll hit our lows soon enough.
And I do it with a flourish, so that anyone who sees me do it, I'll have a +1 in any opposed rolls.
Oh, good. The bank manager is
So what I do is I pull off my hat as I do it, and I just flip it around, and it lands on my head as I'm scanning.
Oh.
Skywatch is much more impressive than the city guard. Yeah. More fancy. Yes, indeed. So as you survey the room, and in fact, you will notice the trace of the magic is also on the front door. The same, like if you turn around and look at the entrance to the bank, you see it there.
Looks like they altered the front door as well.
He will actually, as soon as you flourish, he's like, oh, I suppose you need to see inside the vault as well. So he allows you to go inside and take a look at what had happened in there. So you're able to see inside the vault kind of, there is a lot more chaos in here. Things weren't really taken with care. Like a bunch of things have been pulled off the wall, boxes have been opened, things were sort of rummaged through. You're able to notice kind of like they seem to have tracked through a large portion of things, but everything that they took, he attests, was gold coin. And then you can kind of see like the steps lead back out, almost like you're looking just like the traces in the carpet on the ground or the dust on the wood as it traces back out. And they seem to leave the way they came in. From your assessment, like the quantity of stuff and the quantity of coin that they took would be fairly heavy. Although at the time, he's saying it happened sometime between close of day and then before they opened the next day. So.
But am I able to tell like where the trail leads at all, or is
once you leave the bank, you're able to follow it a little bit. It seems to head almost sort of immediately out of this district, but you're not able to like track it back to a specific location.
All right then.
Like the magic kind of begins to fade as you sort of walk through the square that the bank was on. You were in one of the ritziest districts of Mina. And it definitely heads like south towards the ocean. The poor people live.
Shall we follow it?
Well, the trail is pretty much dying off out here, so I don't know that there's too much more we can get by pursuing this particular course.
Maybe we should check in and see what Corvus and Laurencio found.
He will also give you the name of the person he fired.
I would love their name.
Their night guard is Mikhail Thorin.
You have the address for this particular gentleman?
And he'll give you a location in kind of, actually relatively near where they are, sort of a middle class kind of district of the city.
I would like to send a message to Corvus and Laurentia.
How would you like to send this message?
I'd like to send it by carrier pigeon.
I assume.
Oh yeah, no, there's carrier pigeons. Do you have one on you? Like, where are you
Roosted
acquiring
in the right location.
some carrier pigeon?
Do we have a headquarters? Do we have a clubhouse?
Yeah, it's Skywatch Tower.
Is there a Magitech? Given the city does use Magitech in some ways, right? Is there a messaging system?
Yes, there's like Magitech horns. They're not quite
doesn't like those newfangled technology.
Like, Nada would use carrier pigeon.
She would go outside of the bank
and some
just
mages
go,
have long distance communication.
Caca! And
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. Give me an animal handling. That is a intelligence, I think.
I think it's
yeah.
Communication.
Oh no, yeah, it's communication, animal handling.
Yeah. 10.
There is no pigeon that comes to your call.
What are you looking for, Ada?
There used to be pigeons, back in the day.
You have not reached each other yet.
Okay.
Oh, but that would have been good. Wait. They had sarsaparilla. We would have come find them because we were.
Let's transition back to kind of picking up immediately. I don't think sarsaparilla took them that long.
No, we get it to go in little cups.
So we are still at
From the
the
South
trinket
Bucks.
shop.
Yeah, either you're just leaving it or you're just inside
the
it. At
seal
this
box?
point, you feel, both of you, in fact, feel a fluctuation in the magic around you. The spirits are calling to you. Your power is elevated for this moment in time as you are, there's a slight glowing of a sigil on your, around, kind of almost like a tiny halo.
Turosa, I suppose, the day of fate. I feel I might be able to pull some more information if I contact the spirits.
You're standing outside the shop.
One moment. I pull out my book and I flip through and I find, yes, the tale of Scarlet Combs, the greatest detective that the city of Mina has ever known. Her and her faithful maid, Spotson, once travels these streets, solving every crime you can imagine. In fact, watch this.
Yeah, okay.
I speak some words of narration, and she opened the book, and immediately she leaps out from the book.
Please tell me she's in a Sherlock Holmes style outfit with the little half sleeves and the really thin tailored and
That is period-wise too far in the future. So actually she'd be wearing much older clothing.
but
style.
same kind of style.
She has a long, almost Gandalf style pipe.
Perfect.
Miss Combs, we have need of your service.
Indeed, of course.
Here is the puzzle. We've had at least one very heavy object taken from a shop in the middle of a day during lunch while the shopkeeper was present. The object was moved some distance, but then lifted up somehow. Perhaps with magic, perhaps with magitech, or perhaps just through means of chicanery and physics.
Yes, carrying, I suppose.
Right, but heavier than one would think. How might a group go about performing such a crime, and where would you look next?
Well, if it was magitech, it would certainly be some sort of object that could carry or store. Did you get an estimate of the number of people that had come inside? Because that would tell you whether or not it could have been carried out.
Ah, this is why you are the greatest detective of all time.
Because if it was 5 people, then they certainly could have simply carried it. If it was 1, then they would not have been able to.
But the shop was closed.
What time of day did the robbery occur?
It was lunchtime.
Such as now?
A time such as this, yes.
Have you asked any of these bystanders if they were here yesterday?
Ah,
or the
another
day
good
before when
point.
this event took place?
No. Excellent advice.
Did the shopkeeper indicate where they were during the robbery?
Yes, she was eating lunch there in the shop, but not exactly where she was.
Did she suggest why she wasn't aware that the robbery had occurred?
She said she did not see. She was not looking in that direction. But she was rather cagey on what she remembered.
Well, you certainly are one to manipulate minds, sir.
I suppose I could. sometimes manipulate minds. And
Did you
sometimes
look
not.
anywhere in the store other than where this item was stolen from? Perhaps where the other items were stolen from?
Not yet. Now that you mention it, these are all very good tips.
I'm so glad you summoned me, that I'm full of information that you could use for this investigation. Anything else you would like my services for? Before I must return to the greatest mystery I have yet to solve. The mystery of love.
Oh.
I could help you with that. Corvus, any other questions you would like to ask the greatest detectives that Mina has ever seen?
What is the most valuable treasure in Mina?
Likely the crown jewels.
Great.
They were stolen at least 3 times in my novels. I found them every single time.
Yeah, okay.
It's true, it was very exciting.
Good to know.
She was apparently dead for one of them, but then she came back.
Waterfalls, they're dangerous.
Thank you,
I bid you adieu.
Miss Combs, and good luck.
She disappears, swirling into words. She returns to your book.
She did not like you.
What?
You sow so many seeds out, and it's very rare for
I
them
think
to
you
take.
overestimate the actual
The shadows are kind of just billowing around
yeah.
you right now.
Oh,
You
yeah.
are actually actively
Are
hard
you
to see.
okay, Corvus?
No, Corvus is actually like it appears as if they're blending more with what the shadows. And if you catch every other word that Corvus spills, more purple. I don't want to say goop. It's
Mist.
incorrect. Mist.
Spores.
From, I feel like you do well when you are open with your words, and I do much better observing where the spirits take me. I would know where people sell not very allegedly. I want to know where people sell stolen goods. I want to sneak into
Yeah,
that.
you know places where people probably sell
But
stolen
before
goods
you
at
go
this
after
point.
that, think about this. They robbed a bank if it is the same people, so they do not need money. So perhaps they were going to use the items and not sell them. Perhaps we need to do a little more investigating around this shop. Are you okay? You have smoke coming out of your eyes.
It's good. So good. And Corvus just goes back into the shop, but this time the bell does not ring.
The bell does not ring.
Do I observe or not observe that Corvus is
Depends. If you
stealthy?
were looking directly at her, you kind of have to squint right now to make her out. She's hard to notice. You almost want to just look away.
This should be an adventure.
Yes.
I will provide the distraction. Madam, I could not keep myself away for any longer. I am back.
Through the door. Oh goodness, you're back. I was about to go to lunch.
Let us talk.
Did you want to show?
I would like to know more about this lunch you had. Tell me all about where you were.
Today?
The time during the robbery.
So go ahead and give me a communication. You can do persuasion or performance
14.
to keep her distraction. So she'll kind of begin engaging you in conversation, and she seems to be somewhat willing to talk to you. What are you doing, Corvus?
We are just moving among and using what's her face's ideas. We're gonna go look for where the smaller trinkets were. Usually people in this area keep they like to categorize their trinkets, much like as if you were one kind of grown good of your farm in one area. So I go to obviously where the jewelry is, all the silver.
So the smaller trinkets are directly by the register.
Yes.
They're right up front in kind of this glass case, which is currently where Laurencio and the as of yet unnamed woman are talking.
Fantastic. Okay, so I see that. I'm gonna go back to, how there's you said it was very full with shelves, right? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna look at the plant that is almost dead, but a sigh. and Corvus is just gonna like knock over the most expensive vase that is in the area. And just as it shatters, just kind of do one of those like rotate around to get to
So
where
like hide behind So the vase gets knocked over and smashes on the ground. What was that? And she looks over there and does not see you. You kind of wraith almost like out of the corner of her vision.
I hope the intruders have not come back.
At this point, like you see Corvus like sort of glide into the corner of your eye as she's just this mist form behind the woman.
Come with me, ma'am. We must check it out.
Okay. And she continues talking to you. You get from her conversation that like she doesn't have any particular memories of this lunch. Like she is certain that is what she did because that is what she should have done. Like everything is just like, this is what I do. At noon, I have lunch. We close the store for an hour and then it is over. And then I come back to work. And she's like, when I was at work at noon, there was the mirror. And then when I came back at 1, the mirror was gone. I didn't hear anyone or anything like that.
Excellent.
Does my 12 arcane knowledge think that could entail like
Some sort of mind interference?
Yeah. Yes. So I haven't ruled that out.
Yep.
Corvus is gonna go to where they were standing and just gonna like almost like I assume the drawer to the silver goods is locked. There's a glass case. Corvus reaches their hand forward and it almost looks like they turn into dust to get to the other side to open it from the inside and
She like turns. Okay, I'm gonna. Even though you have unlocked your ability, it is mostly stealth. However, I'm going to. If you make a successful Legerdemain check for me, you will be able to transform your hand slightly in its form
just
and reach
enough.
into the lock. And
oh baby, that is terrible. Roll. 16.
that's good.
All right, pops it
Bear in
open.
mind, that means you have to get like about 16 divided by 3. Like that's pretty good, right?
Oh,
That
it's only
means-
because I have +6 in stealing.
We call it Legerdemain.
Sorry.
I feel like
Legerdemain.
I feel like
More
Skywatch's next mission is going to be to solve the mystery of
all the
Corvus's like thievery of stuff.
They're still better than Sam.
Sam never
drawer
learned.
pops open. Is there any silver left in that drawer?
No, the drawer. It's at this point entirely empty, other than like the one piece she had been polishing.
That one. Okay, so they wouldn't have been affected by whatever person. Is there any has anything been touched? Like,
Give me a searching.
yes, thank you. Searching is in
Perception.
Man,
Perception.
these are the worst rolls I've ever made. 9. Just not
You
enough.
have natural lore.
Yeah, I do.
Give me that as well.
11.
Oh, bad. Okay, so you take a moment to kind of like feel on the inside, like take a look both with your eyes and your hands, and then you kind of your eyes drift away from just the case and closer to the register where she was originally cleaning the object, and you notice there are a few like cast off like almost dried leaves, like they look like kind of sage, like a bundle that has been a little bit burnt.
Oh, yeah. I know what that's used.
And it's like a very small amount of it left, but you're able to like pick it up and take it with you.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Get
do
out
that.
of my ear. Oh, that's creepy.
And at this point, the
Oh, sh.
your form.
My hand is like actually a hand to get.
Yeah. You're like,
I was Corvus. We're definitely going towards the next drawer to do the same thing.
Yeah, to
That was
steal
full of the
something?
gold things. Yeah.
yeah, the one that's still locked.
Yeah.
That's full of shinies.
No, but I'll take all the plant, and then I will like be perfectly standing at the register.
Turn. I guess it must have just fallen. Maybe it wasn't very well balanced up there. I hope I helped you with
Yeah,
whatever
here, let
you
me
needed.
help you. Let me help you. Lift it up.
It's
I
broken.
put my hands over her hands. Oh, well,
It's still broken. I wasn't gonna put it back on the shelf.
things break, I suppose.
Yes, they do. She pulls her hands away. I should go to lunch.
I
past noon.
suppose so. if you run any trouble, my name, as I'm sure you remember, is Laurencio Valeru de la Croix. You can ask for me at Skywatch.
Perhaps I will.
If
Oh, you're in here.
And this is Corvus.
as a humble servant of Skywatch, if you two would like to go to lunch, I will, of course, watch the shop for you.
No, I need to close the store at lunch. That's how we do things. Are you trying to? What are you trying to do?
Just push a little bit. Just push into that whole
Okay.
persuasion thing I got going on.
Sure, roll persuasion.
I have a very limited skills at 16.
Cannot let you be in charge of the store during lunch. I don't even really know.
Corvus, I
you.
think I appreciate what you are trying to do here, but we do have a job to get upon.
You don't really understand anything. God.
Corvus, Lori, are you guys in there?
Oh, did you guys come meet us?
Perhaps you're all you exit the store. You're out in kind of in the street. If any of you look up and notice in the sky, the seal that is there appears to have moved slightly past its normal time, and for a moment you have this feeling that it is not the usual seal of Turosa. It appears almost different, like it has taken on a new form briefly.
That is weird. When you did that thing you just did you do something strange? Was it illegal magic?
It wasn't just me. You saw that too.
Are you here? Hello?
Ah, hello. I was behind Tustin.
Yes,
Like you're tall though.
I know. I was across the street trying to coot some pigeons.
the seal. Yes, it for just a moment seemed off.
I didn't notice. I was looking at the beautiful ocean.
I get a little anxious on
You're like standing
Tuesdays.
on the roof to look at the ocean.
I have very good eyesight.
Okay, yeah, but you're in a street with like 3-story buildings on the other side of you.
There's a picture of the ocean that is on a wall.
It is a very nice
It's in the
mosaic.
antique store.
It's a beautiful oil painting of the ocean
In the window.
in the window.
That was amazing, by the way, what you just did. And you've got plants now?
There was plants left on the table
So
where the
very
silver was
small
once.
amount.
Yes, but I know plants.
You do know plants.
I do know plants.
Is
Sort
it,
of. I asked you to roll natural.
Let's take
lore.
it to the lab.
Was it used in some sort of magical ritual?
I believe so.
I would know if so.
I tell them what we discovered at the bank.
Magic?
It was human mage magic, not
Definitely.
spirit magic.
We're starting.
The doors were affected by it.
I'm believing the same. We have,
Also, it happened, the theft happened early in the morning.
Interesting. So, and it was the same day, I believe, as the robbery here at lunch?
This one was 2 days ago. That one was the day before. So I think they were about a day apart.
ours was.
My arcane lore for like if those plants would have been used in some kind of ritual is 18.
It's pretty good. So you kind of take a look at them and you notice like it's not on its own. It wouldn't have been useful. It could have been sort of part of a ritual. Some people like are somewhat reliant on kind of using things or imbuing them with magic. So it looks almost like part of. At this point, it's basically kind of the remnants of like a small bundle that had been wound together and then burnt, almost like a smudging stick or something like that. So it would have been part of. If it was used, it would have been part of something else. Some people also just like to have them. It could just be incense that people were using to make the room smell nice, but that room did not smell like that.
Does like smudging and things like that, does it have the same thing like as in our world where it's tied to spirits, like summoning
Often,
and
yeah.
keeping them away?
Often. But not always. Sometimes it's just related to like an ingredient in a spell, almost.
I feel like we're missing the
Well,
season is not entirely past.
Maybe we should go to the blacksmith. Maybe that's the final piece we'll need to be able to figure out what's going on.
we should, and we should also maybe research what possible uses could be out of these 3 particular metals, and if there's a 4th, that they would need. If we can suss out where they might go in order to procure some of that, we could maybe intercept them.
So maybe a couple of us should go to the lab and get some, see what Skywatch's lab thinks about those items, and the other two should, or the other few should go to the blacksmith.
Sounds good. Sarsaparilla?
I would like to go to the blacksmith, because the laboratory, the woman there is upset at me for some reason.
Can't imagine why.
Lab?
To the lab.
All right.
You can split
By
into
route to the
different groups.
sarsaparilla.
I was gonna push for different teams.
You know what? I've had enough sarsaparilla for today.
All right.
I think I'll head to the blacksmith with Lori.
Laurencio, but yes.
I can take Corvus and I can show you how we do the lab.
You haven't been to the forensics section, have
Don't
you?
think they have.
There wasn't. Is it the room with the dog? The lab?
Yes, that is the one. Lab dog.
That dog does not like me.
Well,
That's the only reason they call it the lab, because it's got Labrador.
A Labrador.
No.
Let's go.
that's the way that egg gets cracked.
Perhaps you should meet us at the blacksmith afterwards, and then we can. You said you have the name of employee of the bank.
We do. All right,
Yes.
Corvus, let's go.
Mikhail.
Mikhail.
Thorin. Did you write it down and can remember
I
how to
did.
pronounce it?
I wrote it down. Oh no, I spelled it wrong.
So tell me, Lori, what happened between you and this lady at the blacksmith?
No, not as the woman at the lab is upset with me. I don't even know why. I guess she thought I was leading her on or something. It was her. It was her partner who I was interested in, and she got the wrong idea.
Well, you gotta watch out there, Lori. You put out the nets, you never know what you're gonna catch.
Yep. Well, I try not to catch anything.
Well, yet you still seem to
I throw
catch
them-
yourself a heap of trouble.
Well, I throw them back in, is what I am saying.
Catch and release.
Yes, exactly. But more often they catch me. I see I'm the fish, and they have the nets. This is how it is in Montagne for men.
Love is a peculiar metaphor for you, isn't it?
Well, it's less of a metaphor, more of a thing. It's all around us.
I
Have you ever made love to a fablemancer?
can't say that I have. Are you propositioning me here in the middle of the street?
Well, not while we are on the same team. There must be lines, but I'm saying perhaps someday, yes.
Well, I'll keep that in mind for the future. For now, this conversation has become mighty awkward, and I suggest we head to the blacksmith.
All right, let us go.
You continue walking to the clamor shop. Inside, there is a couple of people working. Someone is stoking the fire, and it's really the front of it is fairly open, or I guess maybe the front isn't, but the back would be fairly open. It's hot and gross and sweaty, and it's part of one of the laborer sections of the city. There's a number of different artists and crafts locations here.
Excuse us. We're here from the Skywatch. We're investigating the robbery that you had of your iron.
Yeah.
Would you be able to tell us a thing or two about it? Maybe tell us the whole story if you might.
Well, I used to have 3 anvils. Now I have 2.
They stole an entire anvil.
Yep.
Whoa.
What a fantastic story. I shall have to write this down.
I kind of wait until I think no one's looking at me, and I then just experimentally
Attempt to lift one
try
up.
to lift an anvil.
Give me a strength.
5, 8, 9, 10.
Hell Hell no, you ain't lifting that thing on your own. You
It's just a very like
It's just like an entire block of iron.
my eyes sort of
heavy.
dart back and forth as I do it, and so I go up to Laurencio and I whisper, "Spirits."
Excuse me, when did you notice the anvil was gone?
It happened around evening time on, what day is today? Is Tuesday, and probably last week on Thursday.
Thursday, and I also understand there was some raw iron
The Raya.
missing?
Well, I mean, the anvil's pretty raw iron. Yeah, they took a couple of other ingots, too.
Right, and so you just noticed it was missing. Do you have a sense of like what time of day it may have disappeared?
Late afternoon.
Late afternoon. And is it worth a lot of money?
It's not so much, I mean, they're hard to replace. They're heavy, they're large, they're very difficult to move, and I'm out of interns this week, so...
Right, so more of an inconvenience.
I mean, pretty significantly. The ingots they got, though, those are more processed iron. Pure. Better quality. I think maybe they just got desperate taking the anvil.
Interesting.
What
I'm glad you guys were called.
What would be necessary if you wanted to process the iron in that anvil to be more pure?
Well, it's a process involving smelting and melting and heating it to high enough temperatures to burn out any of the unnecessary materials that you don't want in there. You'd need a whole shop for it, or I guess some real angry energy spirit.
Do you know of any shops in town that are capable of that level of smeltery?
None of the blacksmiths, no. But I suppose, like, places that you buy an anvil from, there's some wholesalers. Most of it's imported here. Mina isn't really known for high-level raw goods production. We're more fine artists here. Make some of the finest swords and armors you'll ever see on this side of the mountains.
Have you seen
Or any other side.
anybody around the blacksmith shop that is not normally here, hanging around, maybe before this happened?
You know, I spend most of my time back here, but, and they, like, call over one of their, like, smaller... yes, I've just finished stoking the fire. I promise it's just as hot as it's supposed to be.
Yes.
You're normally out front, kid.
Why, hello there. I was hoping you could help us on investigation. I and my friend here, Tustin, are from Skywatch.
Oh, my goodness.
It's all right. We're only here for information.
Oh, no, it's just I'm kind of... Never mind. She's like, she looks about 13. She's very clearly working here. You can see the family resemblance between her and the blacksmith. I'm, like, covered in soot.
What is it? You can tell us.
Nope. She glances at her dad standing there.
Would you be willing to come with us out front?
She wants to join Skywatch.
Oh, a noble calling. Tell me, do you have any magical abilities?
I'm really good at lighting fires. Just why. Anyway, what did you need to know? What do they need?
We were hoping you might have seen somebody hanging around. I understand somebody stole from your father's shop.
Well, we had a couple of customers come in that were definitely not our usual customers. I don't even know if they were looking for swords or... I mean, we sell the finest swords here on any side of either mountain.
Of
That's
course.
what we've heard at least once.
They didn't seem to really know what we were selling. So I told them they were mostly just looking for kind of materials. I don't know. I just told them that we didn't have what they were looking for. They were very weird and cagey, and I didn't like them.
What about them seemed different?
Well, they weren't wearing any armor. They didn't have any weapons. They also, when I handed them a sword to pick up, they held it like a small child that hasn't held swords before.
Any chance?
Or like someone... Never mind.
Any chance you remember what materials they said they were fixing to get themselves?
Well, they just asked what we were making things out of, and I mean, we use the finest steel here to make our weapons. Pure processed iron.
But they didn't.
Very new process. We're very good at it. Finest swords on either side of the mountain. Do you want to buy one? I'm sorry, wait, wrong mode. Dad pats her on the shoulder, like, you're doing
It's
good.
very impressive that you remember this. Like, definitely the skills required to be
Well, I told the city guard that it was definitely not a normal problem and they should call Skywatch.
Well, between you and me, you and I both know the city guard, pish posh. You and I are Skywatch material. We need the keener eye, like you have observed in identifying these people. You said
There were two of them.
never held weapons. Like in, is that uncommon? Like, does kind of most people know how to use a weapon, or would that be like a good part of the populace would be?
It's probably a reasonable number of people like nowadays that don't know how to hold a weapon that would like pick it up like it was sort of a toy or a prop. But it would be odd to have someone like come into a store that specifically sells weapons and not necessarily know how to use it. Like, it's not impossible.
How were they dressed?
Well, one of them was really tall and was wearing a cloak and a big hat. Green sort of color.
Oh.
They were pretty broad-shouldered. They had a big scar across their face, I think. No, that was the short one. It was the shorter one had a scar on their face. And they were wearing like just a sort of short jacket. The tall one, she was real mean looking.
The shorter one was the scar. It was a man,
Probably.
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 I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Anything else? And I imagine they left after you did not tell them you had what they needed, and shortly after, things disappeared. Seems likely these are the thieves.
I think they left. Yeah, I saw them leave.
You seem a little unsure about that.
Well, I definitely saw them leave.
If you're going to join Skywatch, you have to think like a user of magic. Sometimes spirits can steal memories,
What?
change your perceptions.
I mean,
But it's
Yeah.
okay if you think about it. If you feel, did everything seem right, or did things feel odd? Did things line up?
give me an communication investigation.
You're rocking it today.
Boom. Yep. 18.
Ooh.
And 4 stunt points.
Ah.
Yeah.
What stunt would you like to use?
I will use the object of my attention. I receive +1 further test to examine or perceive additional aspects of the object of my test until the time or venue changes.
Okay. She definitely like has that look of someone like trying to remember something, kind of looking off in the distance, and there's, you know, you can see like she's already very nervous. Like she's clearly like her dad's just sort of standing there stoically and silently looking at her, and she's already kind of, there's that like hesitation and fear, but it seems to be escalating for a moment. I saw them leave. I remember seeing them leave, and I remember seeing them come in, but I don't know where they went in between.
This is magic, I am most certain.
Myself as well.
They did have like this kind of weird looking bag with them.
Was it perchance a sack with a dollar sign painted on it?
No. What? What's $1?
Just something I dreamt up. I could be a fablemancer if I wanted to be, I think.
No, it was just weird. It didn't look like a normal bag, but it was pretty small.
Small bag.
I mean, like, not like you could fit a sword in it and hide that.
Did it, do you remember, I know this is very hard, did it have a smell like plants, perhaps? Like, could it have contained, some sort of...
Or any smell that you might recall.
Smell of plants.
Like spring.
like sage?
Oh, you mean like a specific plant? I'm just like, I haven't been to a forest ever, so I don't really know what the smell of
Most plants, when you dry
be.
them out, they smell about the same. Unless you ask someone like, well, never mind.
It just kind of gives you this like, what? Look, I don't remember a smell, but maybe there was one. It's hard to tell here. Everything kind of smells like the furnace.
Well, this is
Oh, I need to stoke that! And she, like, runs back to it.
well, this is very fine work you did.
Thank you! She's a good kid. Don't tell her, but I'll let her join Skywatch. Maybe. Her brother has to be just as good. One of them can join Skywatch.
Well, if she is that sharp most of the time, I would say consider sending her along when she's 18.
Yeah, her brother's not nearly that smart.
Join
Could
Skywatch.
always use another pyromancer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we're sorry for your misfortune if we do come across anything. Is there
Find an
any
anvil, I'd love it returned.
is there any other detail that you might remember from anyone you spoke to before?
I mean, she
or
told me about
after?
those people, and I think I remember seeing them, but I don't remember ever being in the front of the store when they were there. Like, I know who she's talking about, but I don't remember seeing them. Weird spirit stuff.
Like, you know what she's talking about, as in you know where they might be?
No, as in I saw them, but I don't ever remember seeing them.
Oh.
Well, thank you for your help.
We exit the blacksmith shop. I gotta say, Lori, those were some fine questions you were asking there. It's like you recently learned more about investigating. It's
Well,
really
I have learned from the best.
very impressive.
Yes, I hope they're having as much luck in the laboratory as we had here. We've got a description of 2 suspects. I'd say that's a pretty good day work.
Back in the lab!
Is there windows?
In the lab? No, it is clearly in the basement of the tower.
I'm gonna reintroduce myself because it's only been once. Corvus. Gallows.
You
They
kind
are
of go in,
Corvus.
there's a woman set, got sort of just a series of magnifying glasses that are
Yeah.
all just sort of telescoped in, and they're just clearly looking at something underneath them. Give me a moment. Yes. Right.
Corvus.
Oh,
I
sorry.
came in once. Corvus.
Oh,
Corvus.
no, these are the wrong ones. Older woman, kind of pulled back.
Oh, yeah.
Bun. Some twisted over in braids. Her hair is gray. Yes, I remember you.
We never properly introduced. Yeah. So I wanted to.
Right. Welcome to the lab. Well, you've met the lab.
Yeah. There's the dog and Corvus are obviously antsy. They don't approach them.
Very friendly.
I'm not.
Yes.
We were wondering if you had a moment to look at something for us.
Sure. Yes, I'm definitely in the middle of something, but that's fine. In that moment, Ada,
Oh.
you feel kind of this presence around yourself, a slight aura and glow. If you noticed, you almost have the seal of your greater spirit glowing behind you. That's weird. What begins to happen?
A sense of privilege and authority fills the room as everyone realizes that obviously Ada is the most competent person there
No question.
and has impeccable leadership. And obviously, if there's any sort of promotion or any sort of thing, accolades to be given out, obviously Ada should receive them.
Oh, Ada, it's so good to see you.
It's good to see you too. We're working on this case.
Oh, let me put everything I'm working on to the side to help you.
So, look. She goes through the whole thing of
Explains everything.
Yes. And then,
Yes.
then there was this fella, the bank manager, who said,
Montage.
yeah.
Ada. This. You.
So we were wondering if you would take a look at this.
Oh, of course, of course.
You're the only one that could do it for us.
High praise coming from one such as yourself, Ada. Thank you, thank you. She takes it from you. Whew. Wafts it gently. And then immediately, like, shoves it into this, like, vat of liquid, and it begins to bubble and steam and smoke. And you can kind of see her, like, move her hands a little bit, mutter some words, snaps her fingers, and above it, the smoke takes form.
Whoa.
And you see briefly in the smoke this sigil that you would recognize as the sigil of Monin, the spirit of mind, the greater spirit of mind. This would be part of some sort of spirit summoning ritual. Whoever this is probably some strange spirit accolade. You know, those mages who like to spend their energy working with spirits rather than realizing they're nothing but a menace to society.
From the 3 thefts we're investigating, we had gold, iron, and silver items stolen. One was a silver mirror, we know. But does that sound like anything you'd combine together for any sort of magic tech or otherwise?
She like begins pulling down some books, kind of shifts through them. Gold and silver are key ingredients in, well, I mean, I knew this one without looking it up, but gold and silver are key ingredients in most magitech technologies. You know, it's the alchemical properties. It speaks to each spirit in particular. The spirit either of form or the spirit of energy. You know, Thrain or Wedigan Neste. Those would be magitech that would involve those sorts of things, you know. You would use silver to channel one and gold to channel the other. As for iron, it's pretty mundane, but it can sometimes be used to sort of entrance lower level spirits of any form. But mostly magitech would need a structure.
Do you think somebody's trying to, like, bind a spirit or something?
Oh gosh, I hope that doesn't seem like a thing people can do.
Well, some people say you can. My
Well,
granny always claimed that she had a spirit bound and that we better be good or she'd release it.
Well, maybe. I mean, if it is you and your nan, it's
She
probably
lied
true.
a lot.
Oh. Well, it doesn't seem... It's not something that people practice, but I suppose there are some writings that suggest it is physically, magically possible, but I would hypothesize before we go down that very dangerous and escalating route that this is just more mundane magitech, channeling the energies of the magic around us into mundane objects using the alchemical properties of gold and silver, with iron really as a kind of a container. Iron is magically neutral, especially if you process it into steel. It's very magically neutral.
Oh.
Is it the creation? I might be wrong with the rules, but isn't magitech inventions in the city kind of not allowed?
Explicitly authorized personnel are allowed access to certain magitech technologies, and obviously, you know, the lights in here, some of the finest. Unfortunately, I'm not very good at turning lights on and off on my own, so magitech works a lot better, less flickering, better for the old eyes, you know.
So,
Where's your other partner, that Lorenzo?
has he also sown a seed of...
No, he's sown no seeds here.
He does say hello.
Does he? Or does he say hello to Gertrude?
Probably yes.
It's hard for me to keep track. I've been married so long, you know.
Right.
I don't know what's in his head.
Does he?
Well, so it sounds like somebody is building
Someone's
something.
stealing a lot of gold and silver. They're probably building some sort of magitech.
Do you think they'd have enough materials, or do you think there'd be something they're missing at this point to complete what they're doing?
Well, this on its own wouldn't be enough to make any kind of magitech without some larger facility, and there aren't any authorized facilities in the city of Mina. You don't make a lot of goods here. Most of it's coming in or out of this city. There is plenty of documented cases of smugglers, but most of them wouldn't be smuggling raw goods. They'd smuggle the finest finished product.
So you think if they're taking the raw goods, it's because they mean to combine them some more?
I mean,
somewhere
unless
local.
they can build the facility here. But it can be a little explosive. If you don't know what you're doing.
Oh. Well, that's no good.
So if they are doing it here, I'd like you to find them and not let that happen.
Slap him on the wrist, send him home.
Or
By home, I say to the jail.
Yes, I was
like-
wondering. I mean, you do know you're very knowledgeable, and I will just happily disseminate more things to you and to your level of authority right now, because you just got this sort of feeling about you that I feel very helpful.
I appreciate it.
Yes.
You're the best there is at your job.
Again, high praise, highest of praise.
Well, Corvus, what do you think? Should we get going?
Punishment will be swift.
I would say look for the smugglers. If
All right.
anybody knows anything about raw goods, taking it somewhere, Magitech smugglers might know, and if not, they'd be the ones who'd be using it most likely.
Let's go find some smugglers, but while we're going there, let's talk about lethal and, more importantly, non-lethal force.
So,
You see,
it's been a pleasure
we're like walking off.
as you're walking.
You
As
see,
you-
we don't actually want to kill anyone when we're serving the Queen's justice.
Yes, but the queen needs new. They will die and they will regrow into something better.
Okay, so the four tenants of Skywatch.
Skywatch Tower.
Oh,
And as where are you at this
We're
point?
waiting for them at the blacksmith.
You are sort of standing outside of the blacksmith. If you're busy gazing at the ocean, I'm sure.
Of course.
But if you glance up into the sky for a brief moment, the seal. Today was Tuesday, right? The seal
Yeah, it
seems
was.
to glow brighter. It takes on an intense quality to it. The seal of Turosa seems to almost for a moment become more blinding than the sun. Normally you can look directly at the seals. They have a nice soft glow to them that contrasts with the sky, but it leaves this imprint in the back of your retinas. As all of you feel a kind of a shiver down your spine as you become oddly accident prone. So something unfortunate will befall you at a moment that I deem wonderful for myself.
I have a funny feeling that is my sign. Fate itself, the sign of the Fablemancer, and yet something seems off.
It's shining way too bright.
As if fate itself is laughing at us.
Huh. Indeed.
wait.
Tustin, you yourself feel the warm glow of the aura around you as your magical weapons take on a strangely more magical property in this moment as well.
I feel.
Are you all right?
Yeah, no, I'm better than all right. I feel like I could do just about anything.
You're not about to turn into a smoke cloud and knock statues all over, are you?
That hadn't occurred to me. No. Can we like
Yeah,
regroup?
we'll come together. No, you have to use it now. You will have access to it for a small
You
amount
there,
of time.
passerby?
You just pick someone to shoot at. You regroup. You all notice Tustin has a slight glow about him in this moment. Your glow has faded. Your shadows are no longer there.
Ada was amazing. You missed out.
Did you learn anything at the lab?
We did. What was her name?
Elamia. Gertrude is her partner.
Elamia?
Elamia.
Like elementary? No.
Elamia thinks that
Like eleemosynary?
she says those are common raw goods for making magic tech. So she says that gold and silver, of course, being staples in magic tech, that the iron itself would be more of a neutral you'd use to combine them, and that we should probably go talk to some smugglers because they're going to need a place to assemble this, and it could be highly explosive.
We got a description of a tall woman in a green hat and cloak and a short, possibly man, possibly woman, possibly, who knows, with a scar in a jacket. Sound familiar? Any smugglers you know fitting that?
Do
Not
any of
that
us,
aren't in lockup.
do we know of any smuggling groups that would be
We've arrested a few back in the day, and they always get right back out. We could go talk to one of them, I suppose.
I think the Larrys are out right now. They just finished their
Really?
stay.
All three of them?
Larry's.
Larry, Curly, and Mo? Is that?
No, it's
No, three
it's Laura, Lawrence, and Larry.
They
Just
actually,
go by Larry.
Larry.
actually once asked me to join their group.
Can I roll a memory
Yeah.
to see if I know that if there's anybody from kind of my
Anyone would like to give
my
me
forest from
an
on there?
intelligence lore of some kind. This would be cultural, military, or even historical to see what they know about
Anytime
smugglers.
there's someone in a large cloak like mine and a large hat, they might be on Polanus, which is what we call our Romspringa. So
You Romspringer.
I rolled
You just used a word that I didn't know to explain a word that I didn't know. It might be on
know
Polaris,
Rumspringa?
which is what we call a Rumspringa. What's a...
That's when is it Amish?
Oh, the Amish.
You come of
Okay.
age if you are Amish. You go on a trip where you,
Thank you.
aren't following all the rules of society to find out, do I really want to live this life?
we call it
Rumspringa.
Polanus.
You call it what?
Polanus. The pollen time.
So you're spreading your seed.
Yep.
I got
8.
from memory an 8,
Eight?
but I also
An 8?
got strength of 6.
Okay.
So
You are digging in the recesses of your mind, and you do not find anything.
didn't think so.
I rolled 1, 1, and 1, which is 6.
stunted.
Total.
So
You also are like, nah, haven't talked to any smugglers ever.
As I've talked to many smugglers, they have all fled the city due to fear of
Me. You.
me.
Well, here's what I do know. I know if we're.
You know the city guard might have some information.
Oh no.
They would be the ones, like, who would have booked people most recently, if you want to go talk to the city guard.
All right. I can go talk to Toby.
talk to Toby. Talk
the
to
worst.
Toby.
No, look, you don't want to talk. No one wants to talk to Toby. Toby is the worst.
I mean,
Who is Toby?
while you do that, I suggest, because the smugglers will all be down at the docks, Lori, you could probably go infiltrate, pretend to be a new smuggler that's there. In fact, I could probably help you with that. And I pull my shotgun off of my back.
Look, I'm sorry if I said something
And I
to offend you.
I say, trust me.
Tustin,
And
I don't need healing.
I breathe onto I breathe onto one of the cartridges and I fire it at him, and
I don't want to die.
as the cartridge leaves the muzzle,
The seal
it
behind you,
becomes
like, flares and, like, enters into the gun.
it becomes an elaborate like smuggler costume, and at like full velocity it completely just like wraps around Laurencio, and when he stands up he's disguised as a smuggler.
Please tell me, what does a smuggler's costume look like?
So it's like a vest, like a shoddy like leather vest, and
No shirt.
like drawstring pants, probably a shirt. I don't know.
She needs the costume.
Is it a low cut shirt?
It's like a shirt that, like, is torn open a
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah.
Did it like
it's-
replace
it's
the
like-
clothes I'm wearing?
It's all. Like your clothes like crumple off and fall underneath it. It's all like sort of dark faded colors designed to blend in. And he also has like an earring now, and it like pierced his ear to.
Ow! That really hurt. I mean, not as much
Not
as
just
I
your
expected
ear,
it to.
but
Wow. I look like no one would notice me at all.
What time is it?
It's
getting to
Tuesday
evening.
night.
Oh, I better wrap this up pretty soon. It's about time for me to go away for the day.
So the seal is actually fairly low on the horizon now. So we'll say that the seal's actually it's getting towards evening.
I've only got to till dawn before I have to go
It was at
away.
midnight.
Hey, let's go. Midnight is less confusing. The seal will change at midnight. You got about 3. No, it's summer. It's like early summer. So the sun's probably setting around 8 or 9. Yeah, you got about
3 hours.
4 hours.
Right, but I don't have a full 3 hours because I have to get home and get into my shed before the changing happens.
Oh, that's right. It's Wedding nest day tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I don't work on Wednesdays. You know, it's not my choice.
Are you sorry?
You know, you could just come out anyway. You know, we would be fine with...
No, it's my curse to bear. I'm cursed, and I shouldn't be out. It's not safe for people, and it's just best if I go away.
Well,
I just stay in my shed all day on Wednesdays, and
I feel like we have this argument every week. And every week, I mean, you're gonna go to your shed and you're gonna hide away, but I wish you would trust us. We trust you.
It's not that I don't trust you, it's that this is my life now, and this is how I have to live. Corpus, you don't know.
None of us know because you'll never come out on that day.
You can just call it Wednesday.
Nope.
Wednesday day.
It's
On
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
It is still called Wednesday.
She says
it
to
is
Corvus,
the day of Wedding Day.
Years, about 2 or 3 years ago, nearly 3 years ago, I was on a mission for the city guard. And I went into the woods and disturbed a witch. And that witch cursed me to live all of my Wednesdays in another form, which is why I go to my shed on Wednesdays.
You shouldn't bother witches. They control the forest. The spirits speak with them.
Now,
They
Corvus,
know what's best.
you know
She was
it's your
cannibalizing
job.
children.
Right. Don't them explain witches to a woman.
Anyway, I've got about 2 more hours before I have to leave, and I use my shed time to... What? It's
Well,
not
you call
a
it
bad
your shed time. It's...
Well,
So at this point, you know that your illusion will only last for so long. So you begin walking to the docks, I assume.
Yes, I suppose I must go be a smuggler. Who has things for me to move legally?
I will be tailing you at a safe distance.
All right, but don't cramp my style.
I never could, Lori. I never could.
I want to try to talk to Mikhail Thorin.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep following them center. So like a triangle of trust will
If you would like to, yes, you may.
Yep.
Okay.
Just follow up and just see if I'll report back if there's anything different. If not, following threads.
So you head towards the docks.
Yes, I wish to find somebody who looks like they might know something about smuggling.
There are a lot of people towards the docks. You head down to dockside. They are working, mostly busy. Everybody has a job to do and largely seems to be doing. And if they're not doing their jobs, they are sitting by a small fire or on a bench and they are drinking
I suddenly...
or napping or just layabouting.
I slowly cast the spell Puppets of Fate on myself. At this point, I can force, if I need to, somebody to make a reroll and take the worst result.
Okay.
And I specifically get 4 uses of it in this encounter.
As you subtly cast your spell, though successfully, you begin sneezing uncontrollably, calling attention to yourself. Like a word gets stuck in your throat.
Excuse me. Must be allergies.
Several of the people trying to lift things kind of look at you and they're like,
I am allergic to the law, if you know what I mean.
no, you don't.
It smells like some City Watch owlbear lovers have been around here. I am new to this town and I am looking for work.
Dockmaster. I'll let you know if any boats are hiring.
See, this is the thing. I don't exactly have paperwork. I brought into town some goods from Amotania that perhaps, turns out are not legal here. And so I'm usually better at this line of work. But there are so many rules here about, you can't have a magical floating candle here, apparently, because people don't like the magic tech. So I'm looking for the kind of work that maybe the Dockmaster does not oversee in his official capacity.
Give me a communication. You can do deception.
I would love to. And because I am focused in intrigue, I can make a rerolls on deception and take the higher the results. So I get 16.
And they point in the opposite direction. Jude.
Say that again?
Jude.
Thank you. I appreciate the help.
How are you two following?
I have an idea if you want me to go. We're not.
Yeah, no, so I'm just, I'm staying back by about 50 yards or so. I'm keeping to the shadows. And I'm trying to both blend in and also I have very good eyesight, so I can generally keep tabs on where he's at without having to be staring obviously at him. So I'm just occupying.
As you are kind of walking, because Laurencio will turn sort of further away from you, kind of around the corner in one of the buildings, and you try and get out there. You are trying to not look directly at Laurencio, and you end up just barreling into a bunch of people and tripping and tumbling headfirst over a pile of boxes.
Well,
And
spirit,
you're just sitting on the ground now.
spirits bless. These
Are you gonna
docks
help
are.
us clean up this mess that you just made?
I would absolutely love to, but I'm afraid I'm late for a date.
Several of them start crowding around you.
I tell you.
Can't be that late.
Oh, I'm actually very late. Otherwise, I would have seen where I was going better. That's logic, and you can't defeat it.
Give me a communication. Bargaining.
Oh gosh, darn it, Dan!
4.
It's fun being active.
I stunted.
You did. What stunt would you have using?
What stunt would I have used? I would have used the only one. I have 1 stunt point. So I would have used bon mot, which is tagging the perfect witty remark onto the end of my action.
And that is what you did.
So you all know, in Fantasy Age, normally you get to use your stunts if you succeed, but
Yeah.
Lauren has decided we get to declare our stunt, and she will decide how epically we fail based on that.
I like using the stunts to inform the narrative. So as you wittily say, that's logic, and you can't argue with that. You forget the word that you were thinking shouldn't have been said out loud, idiots. And they close in
Idiots.
and idiots. Sorry, that's logic and you can't argue with it, idiots. They all just look at you and pick up the boxes. And now we ain't even gonna help you. So you, unless you really want to get into a fight now, you can pick up the boxes.
I'm guessing that the red seal in the sky probably thinks it's a bad idea for me to get into
Funnily
combat.
enough, the seal of Turosa is in fact red.
There you go. So I will let out a deep sigh and pick up some boxes.
So you pick after they will let you go after you pick up a few, but you are now somewhat farther behind Laurencio. My turn. Yes.
I get to be stealthy. I never got to be stealthy before.
You're also accident prone right now.
I know, but I am moving through crowds. I rolled an 18 stealth before I knew the whole klutzy thing. But I'm sneaking from crowd to crowd, keeping closer just to try to hear the words that he's saying in case I need to knock something else off.
As you move between the crowds, your eyes are inexplicably drawn to the shiniest of objects. One of them is wearing just a significantly more beautiful pair of goggles than the pair that you already own. They are beautiful. They are etched in brass. They have just a leather, wonderful leather straps. They're clearly hand-worked.
Okay. They look suspicious, right? They're totally...
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
They're mine.
Yeah.
Are they wearing them?
Oh, yeah. They're just on their head.
Wait, because I can't... they're not wearing them. I can see this. That's not klutzy to put in perspective. I'm gonna roll a willpower roll.
It's fine. If you don't want to steal them, I'll come up with another thing that you do.
Seeing this one fail that, I'm gonna just
This one.
keep an eye on it and then just move past it.
So you...
It's not my way. I don't want to steal from people who need it. I want to
fine.
steal things that have been left behind.
Instead, the next crowd you move into are full of drunken revelers.
Oh, good.
And all of them, as you try and move in and try and position yourself, all of them begin kind of bumping into you and jostling. And next thing you know, as you try and slide between two of them, you knock drinks out of both of them, of two separate people's hands. You are now covered in beer, and it smells kind of old and stale. And they're like, "What? What just happened?" Ah! And they will momentarily corral you.
I will literally just keep walking. I'm not even going to waste my time.
They are displeased and will shout slurs at you, calling a lot of attention to your presence.
Okay.
That person just knocked a drink out of my hand. They're the rudest person that I've ever encountered, and everyone should let them. Lorenzo, you are vaguely aware of this commotion behind you as you approach the other end of the docks.
Now that I've turned to a life of crime.
The lighting at this end of the docks becomes almost dingier, darker somehow, despite the fact that it is not at all different. There is sort of a cast. The people at this end seem rougher and meaner, and a little bit grungier, if that could be said of this end of the docks.
Excuse me there. I am Horatio the Swamp Fox. I am looking for Jude.
You found her.
It is fantastic to meet you. I am in need of work, for I fear that the city guard has seen to my last employer's inability to employ me anymore. And I have special skills that are more useful to those interested in moving Magitech than, say, those interested in moving, boring things.
She's sort of a surprisingly smaller woman. Her hands are well weathered. You can see kind of the evidence of fist fights scattered in their sort of bruised and calloused knuckles. Her hair is cropped very short, and she's sort of got a coat thrown over her shoulders. Her arms are short sleeves are pulled up, or longer sleeves are rolled up. Just like that?
I could make up some story and subtly work my way into your acquaintance, but I look at you and I say, this is a woman who does not put up with, I believe what you call in Mina is bullshit. I say she is somebody who just wants an honest answer, so she knows if I am wasting her time or not. And I do not wish to waste your time. This is what I'm good at. I will work for you for cheap, given my current unemployment.
Who was your last employer?
I worked for a group called the Minotaurs out of Amotania, who mostly were trying to bring things into Minas that are not normally allowed. Floating candles, simple sorts of magitech like that.
Haven't heard of him.
Like that.
Give me a deception.
18.
Yeah, I suppose I haven't heard of everyone who comes through this city.
Well, they got caught, so they can't have been that good.
Clearly not. Why should I hire you then?
Because I did not get caught.
Checkmate.
Sometimes people don't get caught, not because they're better, just because they're lucky.
Not only that, but and I wish to cast the spell Suggestion.
Okay.
Specifically in order to make her believe that I am speaking the truth. I said, but in spite of them getting caught, I finished the job. I moved things into the city, and that is why. What's the name of well-known socialite?
Katarina del Mer. Katarina of the Sea.
That is why Katrina Del Mer now has an entire banquet hall full of floating candles.
Interesting. What's the target number?
It is 14.
Oof. She does not succeed. I'd heard about something along those lines. What type of work are you good for?
I am able to move. Well, can I show you?
Sure.
I will cast an illusion that looks like I lift some. Are there crates or something nearby?
Yeah.
I will pick some crates.
She's sitting on one. You really want to be that ballsy. Oh, no, it's an illusion.
I'm sure my illusion would work that well. So I pick some boxes nearby, and I walk over, and I cast an illusion of the boxes floating into the air. And I put my finger by the boxes, and I appear to just lift it with one finger.
Right.
She can make a perception seeing against 16.
Okay. Cool.
If she makes it, I will have her re-roll it.
She does not make it.
Why is this corner always for wizards?
It's the wizard corner.
I'm good at moving things.
Don't normally get mages on my payroll.
Well, in a world like this, where magic is going into the hands of the common person, the ability to work with magic has more use here in the Wonderworld than, say, on the streets where the stupid Skywatch try to keep it to themselves.
Skywatch. Not a fan. Can't say they have never been a problem for me. All right. Well, I don't necessarily have anything directly for you to do with my crew, but I know that the crew who operates out of the Pail and Pitcher is potentially hiring.
Well, I suppose if you would be willing to pass along a recommendation, I could give you a finder's fee.
Sure. When you sell the first amount, I'm sure they will. Well, I'll take my usual cut.
Fair enough. I appreciate getting to know your acquaintance. I see you are as effective as your reputation.
Thank you.
Your
friends are delightful. You may want to round them up.
Yes, well, like I said, I was the one who got away. Not everyone I work with ever does.
Definitely don't recognize them. They're not from around here.
Hey, wait.
Yeah, the two of you.
We didn't peer into the door.
No, she's outside. She's just like sitting at the other end of the docks on a pile of crates as you're causing this commotion further up the docks, and you're like the only two people that aren't normally around here. So the three of you will reconvene again. You have gone and talked to him. He will not have given you any particularly new information. It will all be about the same, that he doesn't remember anything, but he is sort of certain of having been there, and like someone, he's like saw people outside and then kind of nothing. Like there's this clear gap in his memory of events.
Yeah, I wrap up that conversation. I kind of check the seal in the sky, and I'm like, well, time to...
You still got at least an hour.
Yeah,
wanna
but I want to
convene
go,
up with
like,
them.
talk to my wife.
All right.
So, I will start heading home to the shed.
To the shed.
The shed.
Not that I should do this, but I should remind you, I think I have a time limit on a costume, and I'm accident prone right now.
You already have your accent.
You
assume
have
that's
already drawn a fair amount of attention to you, but
So do I just become naked at some point? How does this wear off?
I don't know. You clarified that his clothes are no longer on his body.
Well, what did you do with your
I
clothes?
pick them up very neatly and put them in a satchel.
Well,
Yeah, actually, just roll a d6 for me.
5.
Okay. You do become naked, but you are around a corner, and there is only one drunk person in that alleyway who sees that happen.
I think you feel them like beginning to, like the fabric is sort of falling
But it
apart.
becomes transparent before it falls off, right?
I
Yeah,
feel
it
like-
becomes
Sure.
like
I feel like it becomes like
it starts to.
it like weathers,
It
it like
glows
ages
and-
rapidly, and
The tailors in the city, they do not make the clothes like they used to. Good thing I bought another set.
completely different.
fix your hat again.
Fashion, it changes so quickly these days, am I right? Goodbye, my friend.
Were you able to get anything from that that lady you were speaking to?
Yes, apparently the smugglers who do this sort of work are working out of the Pale and Pitcher. Everyone's favorite ale dive.
They serve things in pails, pitchers.
That is not a place.
Food goes in pails. Beer comes in a pitcher.
We took you there on your
No,
first mission.
yeah, I didn't-
It is a place.
No,
It
but like,
exists.
you are not welcome there.
I'm not welcome there.
It's not a good experience for you.
I remember a good experience, except for the food.
Well, let's head over to the Pale and Pitcher. I haven't heard anything from Ada, so
Maybe she'll meet us there for a last.
I send a communication.
Is it a pigeon?
No, I use Magitech.
boring.
You tried calling a pigeon. Do you want to go there this evening, or do you want to wait until Ada is back with your group?
Given the option, let's wait till Ada is back with the group.
Can we? Like,
Your
do we
choice.
do we have our own fun adventure on Wednesday of doing paperwork?
Yeah. What is your Wednesday like?
Well, I still have the kind of accident. And so do I make it
Do you not
home
lock
to
the
my
shed?
shed effectively, or does anything befall me on my way?
I mean, it's a pretty minor accident. But I think as you are picking up the Magitech phone, the horn of communication, to talk to them, you
just like a
tell them
Morse
like
horn?
Yeah, it's just like a horn that is like engraved with gold sigils, or it's probably not gold this one, but like brass sigils and kind of
Keeps it in
writing
her,
around it.
like satchel. And just like,
And you like pick
Hello?
it up and begin talking to them, and
Does my gun ring and I pull it out and
Yes.
hold it to my ear?
no, you also someone else has to have a horn.
Damn.
Sorry, you're not Get Smart. You don't have a gun phone. And for some inexplicable reason, out of your mouth comes the words, "I'm on my way."
I'm on my way.
Well, I guess that means we should go to the Pale and Pitcher tonight.
All right.
Oh, and then I hang up. I'm like, oh shoot.
You meant to say, "I'm on my way home." They just heard.
Well, I'll just drop by, just like 5 minutes, and then tell them what I want to tell them, and they'll go home. I've got plenty of time. I got like an hour
Yeah.
and 15, 20
Yeah, yeah.
minutes. It's only, you know,
It's only like 9 p.m.
yeah.
Okay.
It's 9 or 10. You got a while.
Yeah.
I
right.
guess Ada, I guess she's staying out late for her.
So would they know us as Skywatch down at the Pale and Pitcher, or would we be able to?
I mean, as you've just clarified, you've been in there before as people as part of Skywatch.
We definitely had a
Good
fight
job.
outside it. I definitely stabbed multiple people right outside.
We
it.
did not tell them who we are, I think.
I don't know.
Yeah. There's that, because it's like, well, the one barmaid knows, but she didn't tell the
doesn't-
rest of the
yeah.
customers, so.
Right.
Because that would ruin our credit.
Right. But
Right.
like,
they
she knows.
didn't want
Yeah.
the patrons to know that we were Skywatch.
You also know that trying to convince smugglers of Magitech that you should work for them as Skywatch is probably not effective.
Right.
I think Jude did not care so much if I was legit or not, but I think anyone who... people do not always believe me when they really don't want to believe me.
Should we? Well, I suppose what we should do is just go in there and find ourselves a table and see what we can pick up on. So we'll go in as an inconspicuous group of a warrior, a sharpshooter, a tree, and a flamboyant bard.
Fablemancer.
And we'll all get a table together.
How do you do this inconspicuously?
Just sit down and grab a table.
How about we go in the back way? Like, we go through, I mean, if they're actually operating out of here, they may operate in the basement.
That's a good idea.
I mean, we could always listen in to see if we pick up any conversation. And then from there.
All right,
fate
we go in the back way.
So you head in through the alleyway and go through the back door, and you're in the kitchen. When you open the back door, it's like a kitchen area, and a chef turns around like, "What are you doing here?"
Larry, this is your department, I believe.
I gotta go out front for that.
Hello, my friends.
What?
I'm here to warn you that you are in danger.
Why are you in my kitchen?
I'm afraid smugglers have descended upon this place, and there's a coming group here. There may be much danger. So Skywatch has two choices. Either we give them out quietly without damaging the establishment, or you help us in that case. Or we do it the louder way, and I, myself, am a big fan of drinking my drinks from a bucket, and would hate to see this place...
We serve the drinks in a pitcher and the food in a pail. And he points to the pails that are next to the sink.
Right, the bigger the better, that's what I say, right? Do it, if you're in Mina, do it the way they do it in Mina. Eat like an animal.
Give me a deception.
I'm actually telling the truth, I think.
Oh, yeah. Okay, then give me a persuasion.
Can I assist by taking out my shotgun and just casually examining, cleaning it and examining it
Sure,
and
give
demonstrating?
me just another communication. Just a straight communication.
12.
Roll.
You're not gonna like it.
20.
Holy shit.
And I got 6 stop points.
So did you want to flirt with?
Yeah, how do you stunt?
With a flourish, I say, listen, my friends.
He's holding a meat cleaver.
Skywatch will come like knives in the dark to stab out the ferrets who smuggle unless you can help me and become an aid and save your establishment, your job, and the quality of your cooking by giving us information on these smugglers.
Smacks down, cracks open a bone. What you want to know?
Are there smugglers? And who are they?
He just
Skywatch.
he just holds the meat cleaver, picks it up again.
What I mean is,
confused.
where are the smugglers? Surely you know as
We try very hard here, me and my wife, to not call out people and their professions in case, because they're just patrons here. Here they're just people that give us money for food in pails and drink in pitchers. So, no, I don't try and keep track of who's a smuggler. What does she want?
Oh, they. Corvus. It's fine.
Her,
okay.
him, they.
We prefer.
There's one of you.
No, there's not. Anyway.
Look, I'm sorry. What do you want?
Have you seen a slender being, tall like a tree, with a big green hat?
I was going to say for a moment that I'm looking at one right now, but that's a different colour.
Right, in a short man, possibly a woman, with a jacket and a scar.
I mean,
Why am I
really?
talking in
None
this
of them
voice?
are in the kitchen right now. So I'll go out front and talk to my wife.
You are the.
I'm just saying, I don't know how to help you right now. They're not in the kitchen. If there's like a physical thing I can do,
All right, how about
we-
like, do you want me
keep
to like
quiet
lock the
about-
door, or do you want me to let them out?
How about you just stay quiet about our location here, and we will send
Right, that I can
the
do.
stick
Yeah.
into.
Yeah. Like,
I'm also gonna go out in the shadows and.
so like, if they come through the kitchen trying to leave, do you want me to keep them in here or let them out?
Yes, use your mighty knife.
I am not stabbing anyone for you. That I will get in so much trouble.
not-
I am not Skywatch. I can't just willy-nilly stab someone.
What can anyone say? I'm just gonna start like just walk past.
But you haven't answered
a-
my question. Do you want me to let them out or keep them in?
Keep them in here, please.
All right.
While this conversation is going on, I'm already like out in the main
Okay.
restaurant. Like
Both of you who are
bar.
going in, go ahead and give me a stealth.
It's time for stealth.
9.
Wait, I think I get a reroll and stuff.
If it fails, we get. To
I will
reroll
also take
15.
like a performance if you're trying to kind of just blend in.
Is Ada with us at this point?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's just like in the kitchen. I assume eating snacks.
So I can't.
Yeah, I grab a bucket that was probably meant for someone else. Ooh.
I draw my duster up like very very high on myself, and I become very still, and I just sort of blend in with the
Okay.
with the dark parts of the
What was your roll?
15.
So I got an 18, and I get a reroll if I fail. I assume I didn't.
No, you
But
did not.
I'm just joining a rather rambunctious open group and just settling down next to it. And just keeping my ears open.
As you head in, you notice the bar itself is moderately crowded at this point. There's probably 10 or so people in there, various patrons. There's the bartender, several people kind of seated at a bar, a number of people with pitchers and pails of things, consuming large quantities of food. Some people seem already kind of drunk and rubbling, but not like at this time of night. It's a little bit more demure. Like people are slightly less inflamed until Laurencio begins to unexpectedly glow.
You know what?
The aura around him, no longer a small halo, but sort of expanding to encompass, like, and the chef just like, you said you want me to keep them in, right?
Yes, I have a feeling something is about to go down. Let me see if my friends have found our marks.
I look around to see if I can find people who match the description.
I shall do the same.
15. Or sorry, 14.
Perception, right?
Perception ceiling.
13.
So you both will notice as you look around the room, tucked into a corner near kind of the front door. There is 2 individuals that match the description you're given. A tall woman with a large brimmed hat. You can't really see her face, it's tipped down. And the other person, they seem fairly androgynous, kind of leaning up against a chair, a scar across their face, close cropped hair.
Ada casts arcane detection and just is trying to see if.
Neither of them are mages,
Interesting.
but
Okay.
you can see an aura of magic around
We
them.
must put a stop to this at once. It was a night like this, very night.
You're just saying all of this to the chef.
And in the pen and picture. For Skywatch people descended upon two smugglers, what had found themselves entrenched in the buckles of crime and scoured themselves within the dark dungeons of the city to raise up. But the mighty Skywatch had arrived, unsheathed their weapons, and apprehended the smugglers in a great fight that cast itself across the entire bar.
I was still trying to be stealthy.
You do also notice there's another 2 people sitting at the table with them.
Oh, yeah.
So, my ability is specifically heightened drama.
Yeah.
This encounter must take on the qualities of the story that Laurencio will one day tell of this day. All characters, friend and foe, have their passions inflamed, and their actions take on swashbuckling or dramatic effect. All characters may use up to 5 stunt points on every action taken in alignment with your desires or as a passionate reaction to someone else's actions, as long as they can be narrated in adventuresome fashion.
So,
I get 5 set points per stab is what
as
I'm
long
hearing.
as you can narrate them for me.
Excellent.
So you can't just be like, I do this stunt. You have to be like, here's the way in which I do this stunt.
Okay. This is
Otherwise, you just get normal stunt points. So,
do I feel this
Laurencio
passion?
has thrown open the door from the kitchen. Behind him is just this poor chef, standing there holding their meat cleaver and kind of staring at the back. There's the glow, the aura, the seal of Ronin, right? Mind behind him has grown. Or is it fate?
This one is Fate.
Fate. So a red glowing seal, the seal that you would recognize as the seal of Turosa, is kind of behind Laurencio as he stands in the doorway, exclaiming the last portion of his line. Immediately, the 2 individuals at the table, sort of leap into, or 2 of them leap up and look, and you just see them mutter the words, Skywatch.
Do they look at him or us?
Him. They are not paying attention
Are we
to you.
hidden then?
You're just eating from your pail behind Laurencio. And everybody rolls initiative.
Dun, 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 dun. I always forget to roll initiative. It's the same way, right?
It's 3 plus dexterity.
Oh,
And if you have the initiative focus, it's 2 more.
yeah, I know.
I'm so happy we don't have multiple passes.
No, it's just gonna be a single combat. What is this?
Thank you, Fantasy Age.
I'm excited.
Yay!
All right, I'm gonna rock this town. Rock it inside out. What time is it? Claudia asks.
9:30.
Yeah, it's probably 9:30.
All right.
All right, Laurencio.
10.
13.
Corvus.
15.
Ada.
15.
Who had higher number on their stunt die?
Mine was 5.
Mine was only.
Oh, wait,
it was
who
four.
is-
I need out of the 15s.
Mine's 4.
Okay, so Tustin will be going first.
All right.
Tustin, you see them kind of leap to, or go to standing.
So the moment this happens, I feel possessed by the instincts that I've always had as a gunslinger. I whip my shotgun out, take careful aim, and what I do is an energy sort of flows through my fingers, crackling, and one of the bullets in my shotgun actually starts to crackle with that electric energy as I fire a lightning round at the. Let's make it at the short one with the scar.
Ooh, okay.
And that's and I'm going to what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw attention to myself by doing that. So I'm going to use the setup stunt so that I can give a bonus to Ada on her move.
Awesome.
And so the attack did not go super well. 2, 4, 5, 11 was the
That will miss.
So the shell goes wide, and little bits of lightning spurt everywhere.
You have called attention to yourself.
Excellent. That's what I wanted. And I say, come get some Skywatch.
Next up, Ada.
I throw down my pail of
The ship
fries
just
that
sort
I
of
was
cries
eating.
a little bit. That was my best pail I've ever made.
And I step forward and I say, "Villains, I am Ada Blood of Skywatch, and you are under arrest. Do not resist, or it shall go poorly for you."
So much for reading on the Miranda rights.
I say, oh, I forgot about that part.
The Ada rights.
The Ada rights.
And I say, "Lower your weapons now, or prepare to be throttled." Do they lower their weapons?
No.
I always
try.
like to check
Good try.
first, because that's what's important about non-lethal. That's what's important about non-lethal. Yeah, Corvus is completely
Corvus is not
just
paying
like,
attention.
I'm trying to teach
I listen.
something about non-lethal force and.
You can't find Corvus. Corvus is like just somewhere in the bar.
Yeah, and I just I pull my greatsword and I like, and I'm going to use Mighty Blow on this. So let's see. So I
Roll your attack. You gotta beat their defense.
whoo 17.
That'll hit.
Great. I'm gonna add 1. Great. So I've got 8, 13 damage.
Okay.
Yee.
I go after one of the 2 people that are the companions, not the 2 that we know were involved.
Okay. So one of the other two people at the table who arguably you actually have no idea if they're just, maybe they're just like hanging out with
Did
them.
they lower their weapons?
They hadn't even stood up yet.
That's okay. They're probably guilty.
That's Ada's rights.
No.
They're literally still sitting down, like only the other 2 like stood up.
I gave them a
Well, one of the 2 that are standing, seeing you as the sharpshooter, they immediately draw their gun. And you recognize this as a Magitech weapon. It is gilded in gold. And kind of like the iron construction. It's a fairly beautiful weapon. They are going to take aim at you. They're going to use the aim minor action. And what's your defense?
14.
He misses. Which is
I do like a parkour flip off the wall, kicking my feet like as I do a backflip out of the way of his shot.
yes. Sure.
I'm doing what the bard said.
Yeah, no, you, and he sort of curses at you. You notice though where the bullet went wide, it like lodges itself into the bar, and like part of the wood warps and twists, almost kind of taking on a new shape as like the hole around it seems to swirl. The wood itself becoming soft and strangely malleable.
But there's 2 mages that are still hanging around the booth. Right?
The other one, seeing Ada having attacked their companion, Ada is not here, so instead they're going to turn their attention to the person standing in the doorway that is actively glowing, recognizing you as a person of power and as a mage. They're going to take a grenade out, or what appears to be some sort of grenade-like thing. You notice this one is gilded in silver, and they're going to toss it in your direction.
Don't do it.
I think I just make the target, right? No. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
And it lands, and kind of a puff of smoke that you faintly smell, sort of this, that is familiar to you. It is that same plant that was used to burn the incense. And you need to make a willpower defense.
Ooh.
17.
you will succeed, but you notice like a number of people in that area sort of start coughing, and they seem like sort of dazed and almost woozy, like they don't know what to do. I forgot to mention though that as you stood in the doorway flourishing this, like obviously everybody was there is now an audience for your fight. Everybody has like backed to the corner. A number of people are peeking above the bar. Like everybody is ready and watching, but as good bystanders in any epic battle, they're not to get in the way.
Yes, they get stomp points for their epic bystanderness.
Epic bystandering. And so whenever people make an action, there's at least one person faints in shock. Yeah, he's my hero for no reason.
They become
Corvus.
the people in the background of every like street fighting game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Corvus.
Corvus is gonna look around and like slowly unpull their scarf, twisting it in their hands as they sneak over. And the two people are close to each other still, right?
Yeah, relatively speaking.
And like as this is happening, Corvus is actively trying not to breathe, so like holding their breath. Here's my plan. Tell me if it works or not. I would like to flourish and use a stunt of split spell to separate my spores on two of them, wrapping them in my scarf, pulling them together, and then breathing on them to reduce more spores in their general faces.
Yeah, you do that. They still resist separately, so what's the resist?
My spell just means I give MP, and instead of that does the damage, so I still have to use an accuracy because it's I have to get in their faces.
Okay, so you're gonna roll against their defense.
Yes.
Then. Great.
Because it's all about getting nice and close and just getting it close. Yeah. Okay.
You're going for the mages, right?
I'm going for the mages. 8, 13.
You missed both of them.
Oh.
You like kind of whip your scarf around them, but it just sort of swirls in there. Both of them like immediately kind of dodge around it as you see this like slow motion fabric waving as you hold your breath and then like choke up a portion of it. And now they know
bunch
you're
of
there.
spores are just hanging
Laurencio.
I move out of this smoke that swirls about me, and I say, "Perhaps you thought to leave, but beware of the snakes." And I point out, and I cast illusion upon the door with fast spell.
Okay.
Which lets me do a 2x2x2 area of gigantic writhing snakes that are just like hanging out in the doorway.
The front door.
Yes.
Okay.
If
People scream in awe and to fear that are not the mages.
If any one of them is like smart enough to think it might be illusion, they can do a perception seeing versus 16.
Okay.
And then I fast cast also thick skin, or plot armor as Lauren calls it.
I call it plot armor.
Which toughens Laurencio's skin up a bit beneath his cloak and inures him to insults.
Oh, just insults.
Immune and weapons.
Okay. Next up are the two people that Ada shot at. They're gonna like stand up. One of them draws a sword and like turns around and holds it up at you and like, curse yes, Skywatch! And they're going to take a swipe at you, Ada, while also setting up their ally to attack you as well.
All right.
Ooh, that's pretty good. What's your defense?
It is 11.
Ooh, they hit.
Oh.
So they're going to do 5 damage.
Okay.
So bad.
Oh, sorry, that was that weapon. 10 damage.
Tis
Take
but
that
a
back.
scratch.
It's but a scratch. The other one
Subtract your armor from that, right? Too.
draws 2 daggers and is going to use the advantage that they've given you, and they're going to lightning strike you, or lightning attack, as they're like, ha ha! You don't attack us without any cause! You didn't even read us our rights!
Were they Ada rights?
Forgot.
And they're gonna
we
pick up
forgot to read
+2.
the Ada rights. I forgot.
So you said your defense was 11?
Yeah.
Okay. They will hit you. And especially with their +2 bonus. But it's 2 attacks. I like lightning attack. Okay. So 8 and then another 3. So total of 11.
Okay.
From the daggers. stab, stab.
They just stabbed Ada.
Yeah,
just
both of them just attack
I've got
Ada.
plate armor on,
Yeah.
so
She subtracts her armor from whatever damage it is that they do.
I mean they got me, but 'tis but a scratch.
All right, next up is Tustin.
So inspired by Laurencio's aura, I'm going to do something that you can tell me if I can do this. It's kind of like 2 actions, but if I treat it like using the dual strike stump points, I want to use my incredible acrobatics to leap up onto the chandelier. And
Not a chandelier here, to be clear.
No way.
oh, there's always a chandelier.
There
Is it? I think Laurencio's spell would have created a
Makes a
chandelier.
It is like a small, like wooden. Yes.
What isn't there a second floor that is halfway and there's a banner and the banner has fallen down just slightly, providing a rope?
Continue, and I'll tell you what it is you swing off of.
Okay, so I'm going to leap up gracefully and perch myself up on it, and fire an ice bullet down from the chandelier at the same person I shot at before, and missed the last
So
time.
you want to be above them.
Yes.
Let's say
and swinging on a chandelier,
it's
so I'm harder to
lofted
hit.
bar. So there is like a second story that's like a partial story. So you actually leap. If you can try and leap onto the second story and be like on above them.
Fine.
I'm sorry. Like if it's a chandelier, it will not support your weight.
I'm pretty light.
Alternatively, all right, you leap onto the chandelier. It's not a good chandelier, and it's held up by a
Candelabra
crappy
or
rope.
chandelier?
It's
To
a
be fair,
candelabra.
the effect of the thumper spell they gave me is this is the way Laurencio will tell the story someday. So
Yeah. So you leap onto the chandelier. I
or
need you to roll
I
me
can
an
try to.
acrobatics,
Yeah.
and then you can roll your attack.
5, 8,
Or dexterity,
9,
I should say.
15.
I will say you are not on it, but you are holding onto it.
Okay,
So
I'll take
you are
that.
single-handedly, like, you leap up and you grab it, and you're sort of
All right,
single-armed, holding yourself onto the
I'm
chandelier.
up there and I'm swinging and I'm like, woohoo!
Yes.
And one of the remaining shell in my shotgun gets covered and encased in ice as I fire it down at the person with the scar.
Our dice rolls are terrible.
You
right
were
now.
rolling super well earlier.
6.
You got 6 total?
No, 12 after the
Who are you firing at? Mage or?
at the short person
sort of
with the
mages.
scar. I don't care. Woohoo!
But you were firing, your shot goes wide, and where can say this happens? Your bullet ends up hitting the floor next to one of the guards that were attacking Ada, and immediately as that happens, the rope breaks, and you land and you fall on the ground. You are going to be prone on your next turn.
Great.
You're gonna just like land on your ass.
Great. That's like
But the effect like encases them in ice, right? And
it makes it so that they can't move
Great.
on their turn.
So you
with that.
managed to get the 2 lesser, the non-mages or non-Magitech users in the ice bullets as you like leap up, grab it, shoot, and then the force pulls the rope
As I land
down.
on my butt, I'm just like, I've always wanted to do that.
Ada.
I turn back to like my target and I say, surrender! Are they surrendering?
It's not their turn yet.
All right.
You haven't rolled to try and get them to surrender. Like, if you want to take an actual action and try and get them to surrender, you can roll a communication leadership or intimidate,
Oh, wait, are you?
like some sort of
You're trying to
persuasion
make
or-
who surrender?
The group of people.
Okay, that's not gonna work.
Yeah. You will need to actually make a roll.
No,
Spend one of your actions to get them to
that's not what I'm
surrender.
here to do.
I didn't think
I don't,
that was your
no,
plan.
it's more of I'm doing my due diligence as a member of Skywatch. I have to ask them to surrender.
Before you stab them every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
All right, roll your
Meanwhile, there's
attack.
already been gunfire,
Yeah.
and I've dropped from the chandelier.
I want them to know what we want them to do.
This is a terrible story. So sorry.
He doesn't tell all of it. Like, he talks about the part where you leap onto the chandelier, but he doesn't talk about the part where you fell down.
Unless it's like
15.
putting him in mortal danger
Yeah.
and it's dramatic.
15, you will hit.
I just swung it this way, and then I bring it up. Surrender! No? Okay. Ah. Oh, that one was wet.
Yeah.
Mark has different ones depending on how rough it is.
Oh, that sounded really bad. I think Ada is so horrified by the sound, she doesn't fully follow through. And thus, 6. It's only 9 damage.
9 damage. Okay. He's looking a little worse for wear. He was not really able to dodge. The 2 mages, one of them seeing you on the ground, is gonna laugh a little bit. It's shooter against shooter. He's gonna take another shot at you and try and fire his gun. He's gonna do a rapid reload as well to immediately reload it.
I think he gets a +1 bonus because I'm prone.
Yeah. What was your defense?
14.
He will hit. So you need to make a willpower resist.
10.
You do not succeed. The bullet tears past your arm, and you feel like a moment your skin kind of like pulls away, like the wound becomes larger than it would have normally, and so you're going to take. I rolled well. Sorry. 17 damage.
Oh, you did roll well.
Wow.
I rolled 2 6s and a 5.
Okay, that makes sense.
15. Woo. All right, so that happens.
Yikes.
And like your arm, you feel it's like the skin and the muscles are like pulling away from the bone as the form of them are changing and shifting. Gross.
So this is what it feels like to be on the other end. Whew.
Yeah. The second mage,
Green hat.
The green hat. They are going to try and clear your, like, get rid of your illusion somehow. Like, they know it's some sort of magic, but they don't necessarily, they can't, like, see through the illusion, so they're confused. You know, I think they think the best way of dealing with that is probably dealing with you. That seems like the most effective course of action. But they are similarly not super well equipped. So they're going to just try and stab you. They're going to draw a weapon and like rapidly cross the room as they like pull out their short sword and come at you to try and end the spell. What's your defense?
It is 11.
Ooh, they hit you. So they kind of work their way in. They're like mages, and you will take 7 damage.
I'm a fablemancer.
Corvus.
All right. Seeing how everything has worked out, there's a lot of. I'm really glad that my spores. They were just like, nah, I'm not even messing with that, and then turned away. I'm looking at Ada. I'm seeing that she is doing a great job just slicing away. So my goal is to set up her next attack. Now, the gunman is fired at.
Tustin.
I was gonna say TARDIS, so I'm glad you said Tustin. Tustin. So I'm just gonna.
Dr. Tustin.
Sorry, Doctor. I saw the other guy stab. So
Doctor.
Corvus is gonna reach to the cool, awesome leather holsters at their side, pull out 2 wooden stakes, I think we decided, and just stab them in the same areas and say, Ada, over here. Just like kind of like pincer them in.
Okay. You're trying to set her up? All right, Go ahead and roll.
Cool. Come on! 10.
Just miss.
Wait, let me count that again. Oh, I'm sorry, 12.
You hit them.
Yes.
It's an important difference.
I'm really bad at adding up 3 numbers and then a 4th number.
Surprisingly hard to add 3 numbers.
Yeah.
That is the hardest part about the system is adding 3 numbers.
And then the 4th one.
And then a 4th one.
You're not gonna give me that bonus for being able to like be sneaky.
No, you were not stealthy. How much damage did you do?
7.
Okay. Was that the one that she's been attacking?
No, that was the slice across the face.
Oh,
mage.
the mage. Okay.
Yep. You get a
Then
2.
you didn't hit him. Sorry. thought you were attacking the
I
weaker
feel very
guys.
cool though.
You do feel very cool. You sure you don't want to retcon that I was the...
No,
all right.
no.
Great, Laurencio.
All right, I will use an improvised weapon. I pick up a bucket and I slam it onto the guy's head.
Perfect.
And I say, with the darkness fell on him like a thick drink and the pitcher and pail, which is literally what had happened to him. Well, let's see if I succeed first. Excellent. I have a lot of stop points. If I hit, which is 12, 13, 14, 14.
You hit.
I hit. I rolled double, so I actually have 10 stop points to spend, which I will use all 10 on skirmish. Which
Okay.
I will move 10 yards away by... I put the bucket on his head. Laurencio leaps up, stands on the bucket, and jumps onto the bar, slides down the bar, and lands on the far end.
Yep, that happened.
Can we please? I'm confused what's happening in this fight anymore.
It's okay, because they're gonna take their actions and then we're gonna wrap it up.
Okay.
So
And the weapon did 5 damage.
5 damage. Okay, great. So the two guards, they're gonna try and attack you. You said 11. That one will hit, and that one will miss. So the first one hits you with their long sword, and that is 11 damage. The second one misses. It's like, I do not like being trapped in ice. And so with that moment, this heightened moment will come to an end. The swashbuckling, the fight is still going on, but the swashbuckling feeling will leave us as we will take a pause in our story. Because it is time to end for this evening.
What time is it in our story?
What time is it? I think it's like 9:30 or 10 p.m.
Okay.
Somewhere in there.
The clock's ticking.
The clock is ticking. The fight hasn't taken that long at this point, but you probably didn't get there until about 9:30. And so we shall take a pause.
That fight was still longer than any Shadowrun fight we ever did in
we
terms
got
of game
through
world time.
3 rounds, I think.
Yeah.
Three rounds of people's actions. So we will pause our fight there. I think we might have to leave without me reading tips. I'm waiting for... Yes, unfortunately. Sorry. We had to wrap up at a very specific time. And I did not wrap us up perfectly. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you for all of your support. It has been very exciting and delightful. And I look forward to seeing what shenanigans we get up to next week.
And we will read your tips.
And we will.
Just, we can't do it online right now.
Yes. So we will see you next week for episode 2 of Skywatch. Thank you so much for joining us. Really quick sign off. I have been Lauren at Random Tuesday on the internet.
I'm Janine at Admiral Asma.
Dan Poslins at Dan Poslins.
Claudia Jackie Dash JAKIDAS Hton.
Tony Beeman at Tiny Beeman.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Hey, what's up, everybody?